I've never been in trouble before. Normally, I'm the good guy.
An entire police department in Utah turned on a YouTuber and it was all caught on video. And it only took me 5 videos to break it all down.
I'm a journalist. I investigate and basically take bad people to court.
You have the right to do and say whatever the heck you want.
Well, we don't. We want to respect your rights. We want to find out if things are illegal.
They're not going to stop unless we do something.
Yeah.
We're going to seize your phone right now.
Let me see your phone. Okay. Don't. Do not do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand me? Right now, you're attempting to destroy evidence. Okay, put your hands behind your back. That's a worse charge than what you're looking at.
I was just locking my
nope,
phone.
Oh, you were not.
Nope.
Yeah,
nope,
I was just locking my phone.
I don't
That's
think
all
so.
I did.
Okay, I don't think so.
It was on. Look, it's on my credit card.
But when you quickly grab it after
I wasn't
go to
gonna
grab
grab
the
it back.
phone and we tell
I
you
wasn't
that the
gonna
phone
grab
is
it back.
silence.
Yeah, I was giving it to
Stop
you.
talking.
I was
Stop
giving
talking.
it to you.
Shout out YouTube.
Yeah.
Shout out body cam, right?
I have a stalker. Yeah, I'm sexy.
If you cooperate, I think there's a high probability we cut you a break today. Just food for thought.
Ben did not pay me to be there. I'm in it for the love of the game. We're getting Brian his Legos back.
You didn't get bad.
No, we don't know where he is.
Everybody step out. Come outside.
Search warrant.
Stand up and come outside. Right now. Let's go. Step outside. Step outside, everybody.
We saw the warrant, and I guess like they were looking for stolen Lego, which obviously no one had.
Come on. Everybody step outside.
No. Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay.
It was the first time I had guns pointed to my face.
I'm just gonna put your glasses.
Sure.
I just don't want them to fall off and break.
Very kind of you.
Are we being arrested?
I'll be honest, dude. I don't know a whole lot. I know that we served a warrant for something, and you are going to be spoken to by our detectives. So right now, you're just being detained.
Okay.
If they want to make that decision that you're under arrest, then they'll let you know.
I'm just gonna give him this copy of the warrant. Tell him how it went. Where these douchebags probably have property. Oops. Shouldn't have said that.
A lot of things I do are satire, if I guess you haven't found out by now, but I involve a lot of satire in like my work.
It's good to see you again.
Yeah, man.
I saw you on Sunday.
Bad circumstances.
We'll also be able to hear Josh's side of the story, because I think he's said a lot of lies.
If you guys file a civil lawsuit, you will be able to go through the civil discovery process.
I can come up with the questions and stuff.
You can have all these depositions and put everybody under oath, and they either have to answer the questions or plead the fifth. And you'll finally hear from the lawyer who has agreed to take on this police department and file civil rights lawsuits.
Talking to the police is never, ever, ever a good idea. If they've got enough, they're going to charge you. And if they don't, what's the point in talking? They don't want to get your side, as they claim. They want to see if they can get enough to charge you or charge somebody else.
He's this bad guy and he's making up stories about us to get us arrested and stuff, but I think in the end it'll all work out and justice will be served.
There is a ton here, so let's go through it. Back to the video in just a moment, but first I want to tell you about my sponsor, ZocDoc. ZocDoc, today's video sponsor, is a free website that lets you search and compare local in-network doctors, and that's my favorite part. As you may have noticed from the different scenery in my last couple of videos, I've been traveling with my family, and last week I took my son to Universal Studios and somehow he hurts his finger while we were there, and it just got worse and worse. So he needs to go to the doctor and fast, but it's not easy to find the right doctor who just happens to be covered in your health plan while in some random location while you're traveling. And that's the beauty of ZocDoc. They now have more than 150,000 providers within 200 plus specialties across all 50 states, and it was super easy. ZocDoc's website does it all for you, and it has tons of reviews from real patients and detailed doctor profiles to help you choose the right ones. You can instantly see actual appointment openings and just click to instantly book a visit, and they happen fast, usually within 24 to 72 hours. And sometimes you can even get same-day visits like we did. This is completely free to use. Taking care of your health doesn't have to be difficult. Head to ZocDoc.com/civil rights lawyer to find and instantly book a top-rated doctor today. And thanks so much to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video and for helping us all take better care of our health. Now let's get back into it. It was about a month ago when I started getting flooded with emails and messages saying, "You've got to help this guy, Reckless Ben."
Is this about that Lego scandal again?
The bricks and minifigs crisis of 2026.
I still don't fully understand what's going on. Like YouTubers trying to get some Legos back from a shady company, and the cops got involved, right?
That's cute. Maybe you should study up a little bit.
This is the story of how I got swatted, all because of Legos.
I interviewed Ben in my part 1 video, and then I started going through the unredacted body cam footage that was accidentally released shortly afterwards. At first, the cops were just sort of pulling Ben and his friends over.
My name's Officer Richardson with American Fork Police. The reason I stopped you is the stop sign. You didn't come to quickly stop at it.
I didn't?
No.
And intimidating them.
So who's Ben?
That's back.
Ben? How's Utah?
Which I detailed in my part 2 and part 3 video. And then things escalated into Ben getting arrested.
This is my first time ever being arrested.
Which I detailed in my last video, which was part 4. And then the whole thing culminated in Ben and his friends facing a SWAT team raiding their Airbnb.
You ready?
On you. Everybody step out.
Police department, search warrant.
Stand up and come outside.
I interviewed Ben's friend Tyler, who was with him in the videos, as well as the process server Sierra, who was with Ben when he was arrested.
Ben didn't want to come with us when we were putting up the sign because he got arrested the day before. But we asked one of the neighbors if we could use their property to hang up like this really big sign and like take a picture of it so we could like post it online.
I also interviewed Sheldon, who was arrested along with Ben. He's the guy who got arrested for locking his phone.
There's no way to delete something from a phone by pressing the home button. That's not how phones work. And he admitted it. And I was like, what are we doing here? You know, how am I even in this interrogation room?
Lastly, I interviewed the lawyer, who I've been telling you all along that I wanted to get to represent all of these people in lawsuits against the American Fork Police Department.
They wanted to punish these boys. They wanted to threaten them. They wanted to harass them and chase them out of Utah. That's certainly what it seems like.
Many of you kept asking in the comments, well, how are you helping? And this is what I wanted to get into in the prior videos, but I just couldn't because it had to come last. Because I said I was going to do this whole thing and do it in consecutive order, and that's what I've done. You may remember Solomon Radner from my video about the innocent man who was arrested in Georgia after spending 47 days in jail based on a false accusation from a woman in his local Walmart.
He spent 47 days there. The old adage is that any decent prosecutor can indict a ham sandwich. And that's what happened here.
Solomon was the lawyer who successfully represented that innocent man in that case, and he practices civil rights law all over the country. I knew right away that he would be the perfect civil rights lawyer to get involved in the Reckless Ben situation. The very first time that I talked to Ben, which was very early on, way before the situation went super viral, I told him that I had the perfect lawyer in mind to represent him, and I put him in touch with Solomon from the very beginning. And I actually just talked to Ben again last night, and I re-interviewed him, and one of the things that we discussed is whether or not he wanted to file a civil lawsuit against the police involved in this situation. Depending on how much money you have to spend on it, you can leave no stone unturned. That's why it would be really cool if people really would fund this GoFundMe and just put everybody under oath.
But what if they lie under oath? Because they're probably gonna just lie, you know.
That's the best part if they do that. I mean, if somebody
Really?
lies,
Because I don't think they know how to tell the truth. Is like the thing. Like I really don't think they can admit. I think they would go to jail for 100 years before they tell the truth.
that's why you need a lawyer who knows how to deal with that. You know, who is already expecting them to lie or to try to lie and knows how to paint them into a corner. And that's what you want to do. Like, you want them to lie. All right, please do. Please lie. And then you paint them into that corner, and then you've got them. And because it's hard to lie. But his three friends, Tyler, Sheldon, and Sierra, also were victims of civil rights violations at the hands of the American Fork Police Department. And they are already very much interested in being represented by Solomon, one of the best civil rights lawyers in the country. So the final day of interactions between Ben, his friends, and the American Fork Police Department happened on March 11th. Earlier that day, Ben's friends were across the street from Josh Johnson's home. And as Ben explained in his video, after the cops prevented their process server, Sierra, from serving Josh with Ben's lawsuit, Ben decided to go in a different direction, and instead he started a GoFundMe for this family who lost their Lego collection.
And this is when it really hit me that the justice system has decided to protect these criminals. So now there's really only one way I can think of to get this family the money back that got stolen from them, which is a GoFundMe. Yeah, it is a pretty anticlimactic ending, but at least I'm confident that I'm not going to get in trouble for this. Now that our GoFundMe is live, it's time to promote it, to start getting donations. We printed out the GoFundMe's picture to hang it up so we could get a nice Instagram video to post to social media. But before the group could even hang the picture up, the police came.
What you guys up to?
In order to advertise and to promote that GoFundMe, as well as to film content for his videos, which would also help take the GoFundMe eventually to over $500,000, Ben's friend Sheldon was right then across the street hanging this large sign on a privacy fence that belonged to the homeowner directly across the street from Josh Johnson's home. They did obtain permission from the homeowner to hang the sign for about an hour in order to film this content. So the sign showed Josh Johnson's face and it said, "I stole a dying man's life savings." But before they could even finish hanging up the sign, the police showed up, including officers Richardson and Tonga, who, if you remember, had initially harassed Ben and Tyler on the very first day that I covered in my part 2 video.
Here's Officer Tonga.
Hello guys, I'm Officer Tonga.
How's it going, Tyler?
Bones.
Bones?
They're
Yeah, they
YouTubers.
just showed up.
They're cool. They're chill.
Renting out an Airbnb.
Not causing any issues.
So Officer Richardson and the other officers with the American Fork Police Department, including Officer Adamson, found it unacceptable that Sheldon would hang a sign that criticized and angered Josh Johnson.
Hi. What you guys up to?
We asked one of the neighbors if we could use their property to hang up like this really big sign, and like take a picture of it so we could like post it online and start a GoFundMe that way. But immediately the cops came again.
What we're doing is we're going to get a bunch of publicity to get basically all this money back to the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got her permission. She said we can film here, so we're just getting ready to film. We're going to get the drone.
The owner of the fence?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got her permission.
Okay.
We done a huge GoFundMe and stuff.
Yeah.
We have permission from this house, that orange house.
Yeah, they said we were good to film there too. So we're just.
They said we're allowed all over on that property.
Areas. We're just trying to get this GoFundMe going. It's a legit GoFundMe.
What's it for? Sorry.
We're getting back this money for this family. Let me pull up the GoFundMe. It's a real GoFundMe. No, it's real.
Yeah, do you want to hold this up? Okay, cool.
Care if I hold it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Who are we FaceTiming?
Oh shit, yeah.
Oh, that's Ben, right?
Yeah.
Okay, why'd you hang up so fast?
I don't.
Well,
he hadn't been on the phone in forever.
That's not true. So,
but yeah, so here's the GoFundMe. We got $10 of 28,000. That's
nice.
can I express some concern?
Sure.
So I know who Ben is. I know the situation. I know the situation with this guy, the YouTube, the Legos. I know all that.
Okay.
He was arrested for stalking. Okay.
Yeah.
You know that. He's paying you guys to be here. I know that too.
No, he's not paying us.
He can't. And maybe it'd be better if he. Where is he at? I know he just left too.
I have no idea.
Okay.
The problem that we're running into is you guys are slowly becoming an accessory for stalking.
Yes.
And you guys can be arrested for that.
Okay.
And so we're kind of at the phase point where the people that are involved in this are getting upset.
Yeah.
We're here to keep the peace.
Okay.
We're here to make sure that nobody gets in trouble, nobody gets hurt, nobody gets arrested. But I don't think that this kind of stuff is going to help the situation.
Well, but if we get this off and get the drone shot of it, it's gonna look good, and then we'll take it all down,
That's
and then
how
we'll.
we're getting the funds for the
Yeah, that's how
GoFundMe.
we're gonna, because we can't, we're not gonna do the lawsuit anymore. We're just gonna do this GoFundMe.
Okay.
We've already got it started.
So
we have a huge social media following.
the other issue that we run into is it can run into some defamation stuff, or it can have some other ramifications that come with it. Because the gentleman that Officer Richardson is explaining has been arrested. He's not allowed to have contact with that party or indirect contact either.
Yeah.
So you guys are indirectly in contact with that party. So we don't want that to threshold.
Okay.
Because that can mean you guys can get arrested as well.
I'm all for GoFundMes. I'm all for support. Like what you guys are doing, none of my business. But you have to understand we're not stupid either. I know you're FaceTiming Ben. I know he's having you do this, and cool. If that's what he's doing, then cool. But I guess this is, like he explained, you don't want to be caught up in this. Ben doesn't want to go to jail again. We don't want to arrest him again.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that's not what we want to do. Obviously, we have to do our job.
Yeah, absolutely. I know you guys are just doing your
But
jobs.
what we want is not to take people to jail.
Absolutely.
We want Ben and his posse, whatever you guys call yourselves, reckless Ben, whatever. We want you guys to be happy. We don't care. But we also have to look out for them.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna double check with the neighbors, make sure it's cool you use their fence.
Yeah.
I believe you, but you know,
Yeah,
it seems like I'm also. Is this really the most publicity? This fence on Stores Ave is the best publicity. In
the drone. It's going to be the best drone angle. We hired a drone scientist, and he said this was a really good spot.
Cool.
So I mean, we've invested a lot into this GoFundMe already, and I think it's going to be a huge success.
Just so that you guys are aware, we also may have city ordinance regarding posting signage. So we're going to look into that before we leave.
Okay.
I realize that this is on private property, but it is on the sidewalk, so we'll have to look at that as well. Okay. Not to hustle you guys too much, but
yeah, no, you're fine.
We got to make sure that A, no laws are being broken, and B, nobody's going to be injured or in trouble or any of that.
Yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
So, if you maybe give Officer Richardson a moment to check with the owner of the fence.
Yeah.
Hang out with us for a minute. Let us unravel this real quick.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
sure. Just for the time being, it looks like this sign is already hung. We may ask you to take it down. I don't know. I don't want you guys to get confrontation with that gentleman. Let me have you. Is that your car?
Sure.
Will you go wait in your car for me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
How are we doing today?
Good, how are you?
Good. These people are telling me, can you go over there?
Hold on.
No, one sec.
You gonna let him hang a sign?
Move. Get out.
These guys got arrested for
Get out
stopping
of here.
me.
Get out of here.
What the hell are you doing?
Get out of here. Get out of here.
So, what I understand,
Let's have you wait in the car. Please don't leave yet. Let me figure it out, and then I'll be with you momentarily, okay?
This was me. They had nothing to do with this. This is all 100% me. So if anything does happen,
Okay, thank you. Hey, give us a minute, boss. We're gonna figure it out, okay?
No, this fucking in jail.
I understand.
This ends today.
I know. We're talking
No
to them.
fucking more.
Okay, I understand.
Go.
We're talking to them. Just go hang out in your car or in your house for me.
So multiple times they confronted the homeowner, and eventually, having never heard apparently of the Streisand effect, they pressured the homeowner to allow them to take the sign down, and then they seized the sign and threw it in the police cruiser.
They just said they have your permission. I was just checking with you. And it sounds like they do have your permission? Cool, thank you.
you came to talk to me.
Okay, is he nice?
Yeah.
Hi, puppy.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know what's going on, but hopefully.
Okay, I appreciate you. If he comes over to your house like that again, call us, okay?
I told them to stay in the car. He went back to the house.
That guy got boxed.
Huh?
You got boxed.
I know. He's probably pissed off, but his face is on the sign.
Oh, I agree.
I think we have probably something here.
Let me go blue.
Oh, it's fine. We can talk about it. I think that whether it's the stalking stuff that we're looking at, we got to look at that one. We might have a signage code too, but this guy's being reasonable. Maybe he'll take it down.
She's like, yeah, they explained to GoFundMe. I said, okay. I don't want anything, I don't want to hem her up with anything.
But did she say they could put it on there?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's like, yeah, they explained to GoFundMe. They asked if they could use my sentence. I said, yeah, cool.
But does she know what's on there?
I doubt it.
Okay.
He was FaceTiming Ben. He was on
Yes.
FaceTime.
Yeah. Do you want to go and look at the code and verify for stalking to make sure that that's not an indirect contact? And then let me just make sure she knows what's on the sign. Is that cool?
Okay.
Will you pull
I
up?
haven't even read the sign, so.
Yeah, it's on there. His face is on there. They're gonna indirectly make her. They're gonna pull her into this.
Yeah. So what do you want me to make sure with this?
Go look at the stalking. Have him start collecting info for the other people, and then we'll deal with that.
Have this guy collect. Oh.
He's here. Yeah. All right. Hi.
Hi.
So sorry to bother you. I know that you just spoke with Officer Richardson. It sounds like you had authorized them to hang something on the fence. Have you seen what it is?
He said GoFundMe.
Okay, but it's going to cause a problem with your neighbor because they're in a dispute. Is that okay if we take it down?
Yes.
Is that okay? Because I don't want your
Yeah.
neighbor to be
Yeah.
upset at you because they're
Right,
posting a
right,
sign. Have you
okay.
seen the sign?
No.
Do you want to see it? Okay.
Will you do me a favor? I'm gonna check the stalking code. Will you check with these guys on the corner and see if they're okay with? So let me check with these guys. Sorry, who was I talking to? You, passenger side. Sorry, this follow-up question. With them, what were they involved with?
With who?
These on the corner? Sorry, they
Yeah,
said...
they gave us permission to film there as well. They had nothing to do
Oh, like
with
film
it.
on their property?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Cool. That was my question. Thanks, dude.
Yeah, no problem.
Will you just check with them and make sure that they did get permission to film on their property? But also, the RP is very disgruntled, so...
You guys are fine with them filming and all that stuff?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. They confirmed they are okay to film on their property.
I don't think that's appropriate.
Oh.
So I don't think it's a good thing. So she's taking it down. This is her property. We're working this out. Give us a minute. We'll be over in a sec. Okay. Okay, but you can talk to her after if she wants to talk to you. But give us a sec. Okay. I don't think this is good because I think it's causing a problem with the neighbor.
Yeah.
So if you're okay with it, we're going to take it down. Is that okay?
Yeah. Did they leave?
No, they're still here. They're in the car. But there was a dispute yesterday with this guy and another guy. And these guys are pulling you into this. I don't want you to be in this. So it's not good.
It's not good.
Okay.
I didn't know.
Okay, no, and that,
it's just a GoFundMe for a family.
yeah, they're upset with this guy, and so they're posting this. So we're gonna take it down, and then yeah, we may come and talk to you again. I don't think so, but thank you very much. Okay. Thanks.
Almost immediately, the officers realized that they had just seized property without a warrant or without any other legal justification allowing them to seize private property. So they start brainstorming to come up with some justification for what they just did.
She said she doesn't want it because she didn't know what it was.
Do we seize it or give it back?
Okay, so if it's in the commission of a crime, what is it?
Is it in the commission of crime?
Is it disorderly conduct?
Why?
Did it raise the police to be summoned because it causes problems? Did he come out? Is he upset about it?
I mean, I guess, but that's not...
Look at your stalking code.
Yeah,
See if it's that. If it's not, we're going to look at disorderly. If it's not disorderly, then we're going to look at the city ordinance. We're just going to make sure we don't have anything. We can absolutely give it back to him.
I can handle this if you guys want to break to this.
What is it?
A psycho, 28-year-old screaming, having an episode.
How many units are 10-8?
I mean, there's 4 of us on.
But how many are 10-8 right now? No, go to that.
Nobody. Tonga's going to it.
Okay, yeah, why don't you back Tonga? I'll stay here because he's heated.
He is heated.
Let's unravel this real quick. If you think he was on the phone with the other dude, I think we ought to figure that out.
He definitely was.
Okay, yeah.
As they have done throughout these encounters, once again, they start scheming against Ben and his friends, and they mute the audio on their body cams, destroying evidence, which is ironic because they're about to arrest Sheldon for allegedly destroying evidence, which they were the only ones who were actually doing that. After having completed whatever scheme they secretly developed together, the officers then unmute their body cams.
All right, can I have you hop out real quick? Thanks, dude.
Richardson gets Sheldon out of the car and he walks him over towards the other officers.
I'm just gonna kind of explain where I'm at right now, okay? I think this is in the best interest of you, okay? So, you know Ben, right?
Yeah.
So I think we can agree we both know Ben was arrested for certain things.
Yeah.
I know you're on the phone with Ben.
Yeah.
Him sending you here and him having...
He didn't send me here.
Well,
I'm here on my own accord.
Okay. We're gonna... I'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
But just that taking place is another charge for him.
Right. But this was all my idea.
So
they're all here because of me.
It appears that the plan is to get Sheldon to basically roll over on Ben and admit that Ben sent him there and Ben paid him to do all of these things for him, and which in their minds would make the case that Ben is still now indirectly continuing to have contact with Josh Johnson, thus committing additional stalking crimes for which he had already been arrested yesterday, and also probably trying to get him violated on his bond conditions, which presumably require him to have no direct or indirect contact with Josh. But Sheldon denies that Ben sent or paid him, and he says that he's doing this on his own free will. Officers Richardson and Adamson then questioned Sheldon about any kind of phone contact that he had had with Ben.
Ben, I just called him because he's my friend, but he's done dealing with this. I took over the case because he doesn't want to get in any more trouble. He's actually got a flight home tomorrow.
That makes sense. Why are you FaceTiming Ben then?
I was just telling him,
hey man, look what I'm doing for your guy. Right?
No.
Okay.
I was just seeing what he was doing. I mean, it was just completely, I guess, irrelevant to what was going on.
Adamson asks for consent to look on Sheldon's phone to see if he's been in contact with Ben. Sheldon responds that he does not consent to the officers looking through his phone.
So there's not going to be any text message corroboration between you and him stating that he wanted you to come out here to post this for you?
No.
Or for him? Is that okay if we look?
No, it is not.
Okay. So we're going to give you a Miranda warning because right now what you're doing is illegal.
Okay.
Okay. So Officer Richardson's going to give you a Miranda warning because right now Ben is probably breaking the law. But we don't know what your involvement is. If we determine that you're involved, that could implicate you. If we determine that you're not involved or you're cooperating with us and we see that it's Ben and it's not you.
But it wasn't Ben, it was me.
I'm just telling you before we give you a Miranda warning.
Yeah.
Okay? Because there's a lot of ways this could go.
Officer Adamson then says that he's not going to coerce or threaten or try to scare Sheldon, but then he proceeds to attempt to do exactly that.
And I'm not going to coerce you or scare you or threaten you, but because you were on your phone and Officer Richardson believes that you were FaceTiming Ben while you were hanging a sign across from the guy's house who Ben just got arrested for, we can appeal, we can request a search warrant.
But Sheldon doesn't budge, probably because he's telling them the truth. He wasn't being paid or controlled by Ben. And since they did not get a confession, Officer Adamson turns to some other source of evidence against Ben that he can use, Sheldon's phone. And he tells Sheldon that they can request a search warrant for his phone, and if they get it, seize his phone.
For your phone, which means we seize your phone.
Yeah, for sure.
And if we get into your phone and we find out that you were lying to us, you can be arrested for this offense as well.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a problem. However, if you cooperate with us and you show us, and you confirm that you're not involved and this was all your idea,
yeah,
then we probably end up parting ways and you'll end up with your phone.
Okay.
Does that do you understand all of that? Okay.
Sorry, it's not even that I believe you were calling Ben. You also just told me that that was Ben. So
yeah,
it's just suspicious to us, and because we think there's a law broken here, we're trying to get to the bottom of it.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions before we start this? Okay.
After correctly stating that he needed a search warrant to seize and search Sheldon's phone, Officer Adamson instead decides that it's actually much easier and much more efficient to just seize the phone and search it without a warrant. So they read him his Miranda rights, they tell him that he has the right to remain silent and he doesn't have to talk to them without counsel present.
I'm just going to advise you your rights, all right? You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. The right to an attorney, if you're not afforded an attorney, one will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without an attorney present, you still have the right to stop answering questions anytime and speak to an attorney. You understand your rights?
Yeah.
When he says okay, he doesn't want to talk to them, they immediately retaliate and say, okay, now we're seizing your phone, give us your phone.
Okay, with these rights in mind, do you still wish to talk with me?
No.
No? Okay.
We're going to need your phone.
Lieutenant Adamson, you can correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to seize your phone.
Yep, let me see your phone. Okay. Do not do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand me? Right now you're attempting to destroy evidence. Okay, put your hands behind your back. That's a worse charge than what you're looking at.
I was just locking my
nope,
phone.
Nope.
Yeah, I was just locking my phone.
I don't
That's
think
all
so.
I did.
Okay, I don't think so.
It was on, look, it's on my credit card.
But when you quickly grab it after I
wasn't
go to
gonna
grab the
it back.
phone and we tell you that the phone is silent.
Yeah, I was giving it to you.
Stop talking.
I was
Stop
giving
talking,
it to you.
okay?
It's
That's
on
a problem.
It's on my money. Look, it's on my wallet. I was turning it off.
But this is a problem. Is when I reach for the phone and you quickly pull it away.
I was just locking
that
it.
makes
That's
me
all I was
believe
doing.
that you're potentially.
Can you just
trying
hit the
to
lock
destroy
button?
I'm not
It's
going
about
to
to pay.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to manipulate this phone at all. But right now, this phone is being seized as part of this investigation, and you're being arrested. Okay? Let's put him in the back of the car. Hold on.
I'm going to search him up.
We're going to search him.
When they attempt to grab Sheldon's phone, he noticed that his iPhone wallet was up on the screen, and so he hits the button to lock the phone prior to relinquishing it to the police. But Officer Adamson wanted to search through Sheldon's phone without a warrant. He had requested consent to do that, but Sheldon said no. So he decided to just grab it and search it anyways, and in order to do that, he needs that phone unlocked. So he appears to lose his temper, make a split-second decision to go ahead and arrest Sheldon without even thinking through probably whether he had any legal justification to do so. So he immediately places his hands on Sheldon. He arrests him, claiming that Sheldon destroyed evidence. After taking Sheldon into custody, Officer Adamson then tells him to be silent and that he must stop talking.
Silence.
Yeah, I was giving it to you.
Stop talking.
I was
Stop
giving
talking.
it to you.
And this illustrates the overriding theme here is that these officers are violating the First Amendment left and right. Even though they're engaging in these Fourth Amendment violations by performing illegal searches and seizures and by falsely arresting Ben and falsely arresting Sheldon, what this is all about is the First Amendment. They disapprove of the protected speech that is being engaged in by Ben and his friends. They disagree with the content of that speech because they don't like that their speech criticizes Josh Johnson and makes him upset and makes him look bad. So the whole goal of everything that they had been doing through threats and intimidation and now arrests is to chill that speech, to stop it.
Hey, wind your stance. Do you have anything on you that's going to hurt the poker?
No.
Any contraband of any kind?
No.
Let me call a detective, just because we're getting hammered right now.
Yeah, I swear, man, I was going to give you the phone.
I understand that, but the way it looks to me is like you're trying to get rid of evidence, or...
I mean,
okay.
It's my phone, you know what I mean?
I understand that, but after we explained to you that we got to investigate this. Okay.
That's all I was doing. It was up in my wallet. That's all I was doing.
727, copy medical.
Do you have anything under this, like a shirt?
Yeah.
Your shirt, does your shirt have pockets? Okay, will you take a step back with Lieutenant Adamson for a minute?
Hey, do you have a detective that can help us with this case? Yeah, so we're down here right now. We've got this gentleman that's involved. Long story short, he was on his phone with the party that was arrested for stalking while they were hanging a sign. We explained to him that he could be technically an accomplice for stalking because the code does read that they can't have any contact through a third-party neighbor or other party at the neighbor's residence. Anyways, he had his phone. We told him, hey, you know, if you consent to us to look through the phone to verify that you weren't talking to this guy, we can get you out of here. He said no. He said no, he doesn't want to talk. We asked for the phone, and while he was pulling the phone out, it looked like he was trying to get rid of evidence or do something to the phone. I snatched it real quick. I've got the phone. The phone is currently open. We've got him 82, so I want to bring him back to the PD, and then I need somebody to help me with the warrant for the phone.
Are these prescription? No. You're recording, right? Okay. What do you want me to do? I can leave him recording?
Okay, perfect. I'm maintaining the phone. Richardson's got the dude. We still got to talk to the other party, and we got a car full of people. So I'm trying to keep that phone from locking out so that we can get that warrant. So. This is his friend. That guy was the one he was on the phone with.
Okay, will you come over here?
Yeah, it's Ben Schneider's friend. And Ben Schneider's friend is claiming that he did this on all of his own volition, but they were hanging a sign with the neighbor's face on there. Yeah, so I think it's probably a YouTuber or a follower or a friend or somebody, but we're getting a phone. I need you to write this down real quick. Take him over. Let's figure that mess out. We'll talk to the guy and then we'll send him to the PD. You ready? 810. Shit, I lost it.
I'm gonna get them all out and see if they're all an accomplice.
Just give him a Miranda warning and ask if they even know Schneider or if they're just followers. Yeah, I guess he's got a YouTube following, but I don't know if these guys actually know him or if he's just telling his followers to come out and do this and then they'll pay him. Because it looks like this dude might have been getting paid to do this.
I want all of you out. I'm just going to talk with you. I promise none of you go to jail if you don't be stupid like him. Okay? I just want a conversation. Well, unfortunately, he's an adult, so I can't really air out his business.
All right.
It really is a conversation, and like obviously you can record. You all can record if you want.
Oh, sorry, yeah.
I'm recording too, so
Yeah.
maybe I'll put it on my YouTube. Are you guys all? How old are you guys?
I'm 26.
I'm
20. 16.
16. How old are you? 20. 20. Okay. I'm not going to talk with you.
Okay.
Just because you're underage. You
Yeah.
can hang out if you want. You can get in the car either way.
I'm just with him.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just go to the sidewalk. I'm just gonna advise you guys of your Miranda rights simultaneously, okay? This does not mean you're going to jail.
Oh, totally.
I just have some questions, okay? Is that cool with you as well? Yeah. Okay. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can or will be used against you in a court of law.
While I was grabbing it, he tried to shut it, so we've got him for potentially destroying evidence and/or an accomplice for the stalking charge. But I wonder if this dude's just like a random follower that Ben's paid off to do this. That could happen too, so I don't know.
Are you here on your own accord or are you being paid?
I'm here just by myself.
You're not making any money to be here? Cool. Okay. What about you?
No, I'm not making any money.
Not making
to be
any
here.
money? Okay. You just say you are aware of Ben's charges and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Has Ben instructed you to be here? Nothing?
No, I'm here on my own accord.
Okay. What would that be?
Like, I just want to, like, help out in any way I can with this family who got robbed.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha.
Like $200,000. That's a lot of money.
Yeah, it is a lot of money.
And then he is on some payment thing on his phone, so I'm wondering if he's like either getting paid or something's happening with the transaction. I don't know. This is a weird one, but we've got a car full of maybe juveniles or other people, and they're all filming Richardson right now. And I wonder if they're all followers or if they all know Ben or if Ben was even here. So this is weird, but here we are. What I need, yeah, because the other party's kind of hot, I got to get this phone to the PD and I don't want it to close. Because I want Wyatt to burn a warrant on it so we can verify this guy was or was not coordinating with Ben to violate that stalking charge.
Because of Ben. So here's how this works. If you guys do this on your own accord, which I believe you as well. He already told me this isn't on his own accord, so maybe you guys were on the same page. This is just gonna keep going bad for Ben because he has. I can't tell you his charges. He's an adult, but he has specific charges around this address, this person. That means he cannot have people come here on his behalf. He cannot contact neighbors on his behalf for this person, things like that. So he's kind of. Do we know this guy either?
I don't know.
Hi, who are you?
Good. I'm here for like a GoFundMe chalk something.
Nope, we're not doing that today.
No?
Nope, we're out of here.
Okay. What happened?
Okay, I'm just going to let you know. I don't know who's hired you or who you're affiliated with, but we've arrested one person. If we continue to have people doing stuff around here, you may be arrested as well, so I just need you to leave.
Oh, okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I know what happened? Because
Nope, you need to leave.
Okay.
Thank you.
I just saw the Instagram post. Thanks.
Yep, thank you. I just don't want you getting arrested, that's all.
Okay.
Thank you.
Are they getting arrested?
These guys probably are not, but we've already arrested one, so.
Okay.
Thank you. Yeah, this is turning into a nightmare, so.
This isn't. I've never done this before. I've never had, because in the last week I've had so many people with cameras. And
Yeah, kind of a weird situation,
It's unique.
Even for me.
I'm probably going to be on YouTube, and I'm going to be one of those YouTube cops.
Yeah, dude. The way you're acting,
That's
very chill.
cool.
Very,
That sucks. That really sucks.
No,
That's cool.
Dude, you're one of the. I've had many encounters with the cops the past couple of days with this whole thing. You're like very chill so far.
Okay, well, that's my goal. I don't want to upset anybody.
So, I do have a couple more questions about that because I got told we were supposed to raise money for somebody. Was there?
Okay, so this is an active investigation.
Oh, I can't ask. Okay, sorry.
No, I'm just you're distracting me and you're taking
Can I
away
go
from
ask
what I'm
them
doing.
since they're
No,
talking
I need
to
you to
them?
leave. This is the last time I'm going to tell you. Thank you. It's going to be C. Richardson. So, yeah, I'm so sorry. I was trying to maintain this phone so it didn't lock out, but it already locked out. So, C.
Officer Adamson walks over to Richardson. He tells him that unfortunately for them, Sheldon's phone was locked.
That's where I'm at today, okay? Does that make sense?
It locked.
Great. Does that make sense?
I'm gonna go talk to your other guy.
Okay. You guys are free to go.
Thank you so much. Good meeting you too.
Of course, have a good one.
I'm Ben as well. I'm not the Ben, but I am Ben.
Oh, your name's Ben?
My name's
Oh,
Ben
cool.
as well, so.
Cool.
And then he walks over to talk to Josh Johnson. And he immediately apologizes to Josh.
All right, my man. I'm so sorry. There's a lot of components to this. So, the gentleman was arrested yesterday.
Yeah, Ben.
These guys, I don't have all of the answers for this, but it's sounding like he might be using his influence to have people come to the area.
That's exactly. Well, Ben was here. I saw him.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw him. He went to her house. Check her ring camera. Ben Schneider was here.
She's going to send it to us via email.
Yeah.
We talked to the neighbor. We took down the sign. She wasn't aware that's what it
lied
was.
to her. I figured she did. You know.
Give me 1 sec. I'm so sorry.
You're good, Ruby.
Hey, buddy. We've got a phone that needs to be processed. I'm trying to get Sean down here to take it to you, but there's a lot of moving parts to this. So give me a couple minutes and I'll call you. All right. Thanks. Goodbye. Yeah. Yes, and he was here. The victim is claiming that he did see him, and we may potentially have video evidence that he was here. But we're still trying to coordinate with this other group of individuals that are here what their involvement is, and we've consequently have arrested one of them. So, and then I've got more people showing up asking for other stuff, and I'm having to turn them away because we're actively in the middle of this investigation. So,
No, but you never see a cop on YouTube where they're like, oh yeah, cops, you know?
No, hey, but you've been chill. I respect you a lot.
Okay. Well, you guys are good to go?
Cool.
Okay.
Shout out YouTube.
Yeah.
Shout out body cam, right?
the phone locked on me. I was trying to preserve that, but we may have to go the hard way on that. So we're almost done, but let me call you in 2 seconds. All right, thanks, bye. Okay.
So the kid you arrested has his meta glasses and he's still recording inside the car.
That's fine. And it is what it is. We'll
Okay.
take those off of him. Do you know if he was live streaming from his meta glasses?
I have no, how would I know?
Okay.
But I have no idea. They're just doing it for YouTube and to harass the heck out of me.
Yeah, I get it. And our contact with you is not to be abrasive.
No,
it's just we have all these people coming into the. You saw the other guy, all that stuff.
You could be abrasive.
So
you have the right to do and say whatever the heck you want.
Well, we don't. We want to respect your rights. We want to find out if things are illegal. We've got that guy arrested. We're gonna go figure that situation out. She's gonna email the stuff, video surveillance to your email. I just gave it to her. So if you see him again, call us.
Yeah, we will. They went to the Orem Bricks and Minifigs and harassed them.
Okay.
And so at the same time, I was on the phone with the CEO, and the Orem police said, call them right now to get these guys again.
Okay.
So they're not going to stop unless we do something.
Yeah, and we don't want you to get this either. We want to be done with this. But yeah, this is probably frustrating. Hey, the phone locked. We're going to just take it back to Nicosia. You can 1022 if you want to go to that other scene. Thanks, buddy.
Sorry, dude. Yelled at you.
Yell at me.
Food for thought. Don't run up on me. We're 5 feet away from being tased, dude.
Correct. Yeah, that's all right. Tase me. I deserve it.
So I understand the situation. It sucks.
Yeah.
Lieutenant has all the answers compared to me. So
you're good.
We're
Tase me if you need to. I would.
I have no intention. I just caught me off guard.
If you have more problems, call us. If there's more people showing up, that gentleman said, "I'm here for a drone shot."
No. Oh, he's going to take video of my property.
Here's the thing. I told him, look, dude, you guys are becoming accessories to this stalking case. We don't want you guys to get arrested.
He was here yesterday.
Yeah, so this is just speculation right now, but I'm kind of thinking he's just reaching out to these guys and he's paying them to do this.
Yeah.
So there may not even be any ties to you directly with these people.
No, I don't know these people.
But we got to find out what's going on with this dude.
After my body cam from my very first contact with him.
Yeah.
But I believe he directly said that he's paying people to do this.
Yeah, and I believe that.
Ben is?
So
Yeah.
if we have more people show up, call us. We'll explain it to them because we don't want to. It's a never-ending battle for us to come down and arrest randos that are going to get paid through Venmo for committing a crime.
Yeah.
But we want to still respect your privacy. And now that your neighbor is aware, do you know any more of your neighbors?
No, him mildly.
Okay. I'm not telling you what to do, but you may want to explain a little bit to them.
I talked to Braden.
Okay. Just so people aren't hanging signs on people's stuff.
I'll explain to her.
Yeah.
They knocked on Brother Taylor's door.
Okay.
Back here.
Okay.
And they have some kind of escape back this way.
Okay.
So the 2 girls on Sunday escaped back that way, and they weren't able to get trespassed.
Okay. Okay.
But yeah.
Okay. What else?
I have a stalker. Yeah, I'm sexy. What can I say?
Do you have a case number for him and we're off to the races?
We dupe it out.
What's that?
And give it and attach it to the old stock.
New arrest. Probably. We just link them. You have a card? Hey, we're gonna get you a card, okay? We're gonna grab you a card. We'll be right back. Thanks. You will or will not? Yeah, we'll get it for you.
You didn't get bad.
No, we don't know where he is. When we got
100 billion%. I thought he was in the Chevy. Then
the Chevy was empty when we got here.
Yeah, he was here. He probably escaped somehow.
Probably, but if
he 100 billion% was here.
If he comes back, then we will deal with that for
Okay,
sure.
thank you.
Cool.
You're the best. Thank you.
Okay, let me go grab you a card. You're good. Here's the deal, though. I'm gonna loosen them if you don't fight me or do anything wild. Which one hurts? Or both?
Both. They're both super duper high, dude.
Okay, sorry, I'm gonna do one at a time. So stretch that one out, and then it's going back in.
Okay. You're good. You're good. Just put it on. Please, not that tight. This hurts super bad, dude.
There you go. Is that loose enough?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, and just a short ride back to the police department where we're going to explain kind of what you're involved in more.
Okay.
It's hard for you. Is that too tight? No, that's good. It's hard for you right now, I understand, because you're hearing everything from Ben and this side of it. You don't know the other side. So I don't think that you fully know what you're participating in right now. So that's why, well, you're under arrest for obstruction of evidence right now, but we're going to the police department and we're going to explain significantly more of what's going on. Okay. And if you cooperate, I think there's a high probability we cut you a break today. Okay. Just food for thought. You know, I'm not trying to hem anybody up. I don't want to be the asshole cop. Yeah. But I also have to do my job. And
yeah, you're good, man.
So just hear us out, okay?
I will. Yeah, for sure.
Did I put a seatbelt on you? Let me do that real quick. Stop for a drop.
Thank you.
Of course, have a good one.
Yep.
Call back if you need anything.
Okay.
So Sheldon is arrested. He's transported, handcuffed behind his back to the police station where he's put in an interrogation room.
He's gonna search, right?
Yep. Sorry, will you just relax a minute?
Yeah, I do. You can go have a seat. Leave it in a second, okay? For sure.
And then Detective Nicosia begins to question him.
Hey, thanks for being patient. I understand your name's Sheldon, is that correct? Okay. My name's Detective Nicosia. I work here at the police department.
Throughout the interrogation, Detective Nicosia repeatedly claims that he has no idea what is going on.
I honestly don't really know what's going on too much.
Yeah.
And I honestly want to give you the benefit of the doubt in telling me what's going on. I understand that you told officers on scene you didn't want to talk.
Yeah.
Which is okay, right? But we're trying to figure something out, and I don't want to put you on the hook for something you didn't really do.
Detective, you have a guy here locked in a room that you had brought there in handcuffs, and you don't have an arrest warrant authorizing that. Maybe you should go talk to your colleagues who brought him there about whether or not they had probable cause to make a warrantless arrest. Or else, maybe you should release him immediately with an apology and beg him not to sue you, and then turn your investigation time towards your colleagues who just illegally kidnapped a person.
Yeah, right. So as I told them, we were just doing a GoFundMe. We were hanging up that sign. It was actually only going to be up for 1 hour. We had a professional drone guy coming out. I showed them the GoFundMe.
So rather than get anything incriminating out of Sheldon, whether against Ben or against Sheldon. Instead, Detective Nicosia sits there and he listens to Sheldon very articulately explain everything that had happened thus far.
I did willingly hand over my phone, but when I handed him my phone, my wallet popped up. So I said, hold up, let me hit my power button. And I have it recorded as well. That's all I went and did. That's not obstruction of evidence in my opinion at all. So that's why, I obviously got very frustrated because it's like, I'm willing to hand you my phone, but all of my money, right, my life savings is on that account. I could see it pull up and it said it was about to pay something. So I just reached over and I clicked the button. That's all I did. I just was blacking out my phone screen. And then I let him have the phone. I wasn't trying to delete anything. In fact, it is actually impossible to delete something from an iPhone from a locked screen by hitting the power button. So in no context could I have been trying to erase something by hitting one button on my phone. Now I'm sure you have a phone as well. When you hit the power button, that doesn't delete anything, does it?
I imagine it wouldn't, yeah.
Yeah, so that's all I did. So I don't know how that's obstruction of evidence, but that is what it is.
But even so, Nicosia still did not let Sheldon go. He held him for an extended period of time with no charges, and they never did charge Sheldon with anything. And they would have, had he committed any crimes, just to exert pressure on Ben. And in reality, they are the ones who basically kidnapped an innocent person and tried to intimidate and scare him. But it didn't work.
We got the neighbor's permission. It was, we weren't picketing. It was for the GoFundMe shoot on that fence, and that's all we were doing.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, let me go look at some notes.
Okay.
And based upon what you told me, and then I'll come back in and we'll talk some more. Is that okay?
Is it okay if I use the bathroom?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. I get it. I just got done working out and I took a bunch of pre-workout and I'm peeing like every 5 seconds, so it's just right down here.
They are the ones who violated numerous constitutional rights of innocent people in an attempt to do the bidding of this guy, Josh Johnson.
Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, I'll be back with you in a second, okay? Alright, thanks for being patient again.
Yeah.
So I have some more questions, but again, I just want to make sure you're aware of your rights. I just got to read you your Miranda rights again. Doesn't mean that you're going to jail or anything. Just we're in this setting, right? You're detained at this point. I just want to make sure you're aware of your rights.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney.
I thought it was almost funny, but it was like kind of traumatizing, obviously, to like get your phone yanked out of your hand and arrested for locking your phone. So then I obviously talked way too much in my interrogation, which I'm kind of surprised about when I watch it, but I was just kind of in a state of shock.
Obviously, I'm also an aspiring comedian. Some people would even call me that.
Listen to me. This is how you win in life. Don't listen to any of these guys. You Google job, and the first thing that pops up, you click apply, and then dedicate your entire life to that company. And if you save up in your 401k and invest a ton of your paycheck, you'll end up making what a YouTuber does in a year.
Honestly, I'm pretty funny, but that, we were just trying to make a funny video to get engagement, to get money for Brian, and then we were all gonna throw a party, and it was the end of the content because no one wanted to get in any more trouble.
Okay. So when Ben got arrested yesterday, he understood, and you understood that it was, he couldn't go back to that house and he couldn't have contact with this guy that he was trying to serve papers at.
Yeah, correct.
Okay. So Ben says, I just need to stay away from the house. And I'm just trying to make sure what you're saying and I'm understanding is correct, because sometimes they get misunderstood, right?
Yeah.
So Ben's saying, I can't go back there, I just need to stay away and just kind of go back home or do whatever.
Yeah, that was the plan, yes.
Okay. And then you said, I'm going to take lead on this GoFundMe, get the money for Brian, and kind of take lead on making this final video and then taking off.
Yeah, that's correct.
Is that correct?
So we were done, yeah.
Okay. So when you say we, it's Ben, you.
Basically just me and him, yeah.
And then a couple other guys to help
Yeah.
film and stuff?
Yeah, they just, cameramen and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
The good thing about you talking with the detective is that you got him to admit that you had been falsely arrested.
Yeah, that was I interrogated him.
The whole phone thing.
Yeah.
Today. Remind me, how does an Apple Wallet open up?
Well, when I pulled it out, I clicked the button, so then it said Apple Wallet pulled up, and I was trying, and I handed it to him, and it said wallet, and he was walking around, I could see him, and had the wallet up, and it has all my money in Apple Cash, and I told him, I'm like, whoa, and he's like, stop, and I'm like, I'm just hitting the button, that's all I'm doing, you can have the phone.
Did the lock button?
If you hit the lock button, yeah, if you hit it like twice, it pulls up, and it says, like, tap to pay and stuff, so it was up on my wallet.
Maybe mine's not set up, I've never set it up.
Yeah, if you have Apple Wallet, and you press, so I must have just accidentally pressed it twice. So I was just trying to tap the button. That's all I was doing. Like, obviously, like, I'm handing him my phone. It wasn't like I was just telling him, I'm just trying, that's all I was trying to do. Just trying to hit the phone.
He had no warrant to seize your phone, and he did not have your voluntary consent to seize your phone. Is that right?
Yeah, I said no when they asked, if I'm not mistaken, you're the lawyer. When he said we're seizing your phone, we need it, like that was a lawful command, correct? Even if a lawful command isn't lawful, like if a police officer tells you to do something in that scenario, you have to comply, right?
I mean, you didn't even resist, though. I mean, you did hand him the phone, even if you did lock it first or take your wallet off this. I mean, he had no right to have your phone in the first place. It doesn't matter whether you complied or didn't comply. He was going to take the phone if he was going to take the phone.
We're going to need your phone.
Lieutenant Adams, you correct me if I'm wrong. We're going to seize your phone.
Yep, let me see your phone. Okay. Do not do that.
Yeah, for sure.
You understand me? Right
Yeah.
now you're attempting to destroy evidence. Okay, put your hands behind your back. That's a worse charge than what you're looking at.
I was just locking my
No,
phone.
no.
Yeah, I was just locking my phone.
I don't
That's
think
all
so.
I did.
Okay, I don't think so.
It was on. Look, it's on my credit card.
But when you quickly grab it after
I wasn't
go to
gonna
grab
grab
the
it back.
phone and we tell
I
you
wasn't
that the
gonna
phone
grab
is
it back.
being silent.
Yeah, I was giving it to
Stop
you.
talking.
I was
Stop
giving
talking.
it to you.
Okay.
It's
That's
on
a
my.
problem.
It's on my money. Look, it's on my wallet.
Okay,
I was turning it off.
But this is a problem. Is when I reach for the phone and you quickly pull it away.
I was just locking
that
it.
makes
That's
me
all I was
believe
doing.
that you're potentially.
Can you just
trying
hit the
to
lock
destroy it.
button?
I'm not
It's
going
about
to.
to pay.
I'm not going to. I'm not going to do any of that. I'm not going to manipulate this phone at all. But right now, this phone is being seized as part of this investigation, and you're being arrested. Okay.
The guys, I'm not going to manipulate this at all. And then it's him walking around, and I was watching from the inside of the police car, and when the lady walked up to him, because I was nervous, I hit the button twice. I noticed it was unlocked, and it pulled up my wallet, and I wasn't sure if you could get into my phone with the wallet open with it unlocked. So, but luckily he was just a living thumb and was sitting there playing. It reminded me of a toddler trying to keep a phone unlocked. And then the lady came up to talk to him, and he put it away, and then he pulled it out.
Well, I was trying to maintain this phone so it didn't lock out, but it already locked out. So.
But he was manipulating it, you know, and I'm 100,000% sure the Supreme Court ruled you need a warrant to go through someone's phone, and I knew that. I knew that the whole time.
Just hit the button. I just didn't want my wallet up. If like he had accidentally clicked something while that was up, and like it could have paid a bill I wasn't trying to pay, and it's like I really I'm not like super rich, so I just really needed that closed. It's also like my life savings is on there.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Makes sense. There's no way to delete something from a phone by pressing the home button. That's not how phones work. And he admitted it. And I was like, what are we doing here? You know, how am I even in this interrogation room? Like, you told me I'm under arrest. Now I'm detained. You've admitted that the thing you've arrested me for isn't even possible.
So do you know whether or not they ever did get into your phone?
Well, I know he went through all of my wallet. You can see it in the, unredacted body cam footage. He's just walking around, keeping the phone screen unlocked. So he definitely was going through all my cards. And I checked later. And if you pull up wallet, unless you have Face ID, so I can pull up wallet, but if you're not me, because of Face ID, he couldn't get in it. So I don't think they did. I think he definitely tried. I mean, you saw he tried snatching my phone out of my hand when he saw it was unlocked.
If I go get your phone, can we test to see how the Apple Wallet pulls up?
Yeah. Yeah, I can show you.
Okay. Let me go grab it and I'll be back with you, okay?
Ultimately, they never charged you with anything, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Yes, I was never charged. But I was told I was when I was arrested. So I was told I was arrested. I was taken to the police station in handcuffs. I was interrogated, and then I was told I was free to go.
I'll let you do it. That way I'm not... Maybe I have to unlock it.
Oh, yeah, see? Your passcode is required to open wallet. It opened my wallet. I double clicked it.
So it must have been unlocked when...
Yeah.
And then you double tapped it to try to lock it.
And then it opened my wallet. So I just, like I said, my wallet was open. And I was just trying to that's all I was trying to do, dude. I just wanted my wallet. And I told Matt, I'm like, Hey, I know you're mad, dude. I'm not trying to grab your phone.
Can we test it while it's unlocked? Like, do you want to unlock it and then?
They had me show them how Apple Wallet works in the interrogation. And like, I was all nervous that they were trying to get me to type in my passcode so they could get into it. So I like really quickly did it and made sure, you know, the footage couldn't see it. At least I hope.
So this is what was up.
Okay.
See, and it's got all my money on it, and that's what he was walking around with.
All right. So you were just trying to lock it from
Yep,
there.
that's all I was trying to do.
All right.
At no point were you told you were free to leave.
No, they had my phone hostage. Where am I going to go? I'm out of state, and you have and I told them all my money was on my Apple Cash because I had to bond, and this is what sucked. I had to bond Ben out, right? So this is why it would have been complete nonsense if they went through my phone. They were trying to accuse me of being paid by Ben. I had just paid my life savings bonding Ben out of jail. Apple paid me what his bond cost. So Ben had just sent me like $2,000. So if they had seen that, they were going to say, and it's like, that's why it's none of their business what transactions I have with my friends. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, we know he paid you to be here. And Ben did not pay me to be there. Like, I'm in it for the love of the game, bro. You know what I mean? I'm in it for the love of the game. We're getting Brian his Legos back. That's, you know, that's the literal truth.
Okay,
That's all I was trying to do.
If you want to just hang out for a little bit longer, phone's locked. I'm not going to go through it or anything. So, yeah, just hang out for a second. I'll be back with you. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for doing that. Thank you
no
for
problem.
being cooperative and everything. It really
Yeah.
goes along. Do you need anything?
No, I'm good.
Do you want some water or anything like that?
I'm fine. It's all good.
Okay. Let me know if there is. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
This is Officer Tonga.
Sorry. What's that?
Just calling, just trying to get a little bit more information.
Yeah.
So, did you see Ben?
Yes.
Okay, what was he wearing?
He's wearing the same blue sweater. I'll send you a video.
Okay, awesome. Just text it to that same number.
Yeah, that I've been texting.
Yep.
Yeah, I got black pants, blue hoodie. I got him coming from that lady's house, like my neighbor.
Gotcha. Yeah, just go ahead and send me that video, and then we're working on something right now. Hopefully resolve the issue. So maybe he's been relentless, and I can't imagine what you're going through right now.
Yeah, dude. Like my daughter is flipping out. She can't sleep now. My wife's pretty mad about that.
I'm sorry to hear that.
She's 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in a 5-year-old mind, she has nightmares, and then now we got dickhead knocking on, taking pictures in the windows and all this. It's just a lot,
Yeah. So
I'm really sick. I'm like deathly ill.
I'm sorry to hear that too. That doesn't help.
Yeah.
So if
my gosh.
I have any further questions, I'll give you a call. But if you could just send me that video, that'd be great.
Yeah, I'll send you the pictures and the videos I got from today.
Okay. Thank you.
You're the best. Thank you.
Bye.
How you doing?
All right.
Good. A couple more questions, if you're okay to talk. Is that okay? So this guy in American Fork, they are hanging a poster by his house.
Yeah.
What's his involvement in all this Lego crap?
He's the owner.
He's the owner of
He's the one who
Briggs.
stole the money.
He's the owner of Briggs and Figs. Is that the company?
Yeah, it's Briggs and Minifigs. It was in Salem, Oregon. He's the owner.
So when the SWAT raid happened, you weren't there. You were already.
I was in the interrogation room.
Just hang tight. Still, we're just trying to filter through all this stuff, and
Okay.
we'll get through this. Okay.
Okay, for sure.
You need anything? Can I get you some water or a water bottle or anything?
No, I'm good.
Okay, sounds good. Let me know if you need anything. Okay.
All right.
You can just knock on the door and we'll come. We're just right outside. So okay. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem.
But it wasn't just Sheldon. They were coming after Ben and everyone with him at gunpoint. Ben and them were just sitting there in their Airbnb, and unbeknownst to them, numerous officers with the American Fork Police Department were approaching that Airbnb from various directions, firearms at the ready.
I was at the Airbnb right after Sheldon got arrested, and we were Kind of just waiting to see if he was going to get booked in a jail or not, so we could like maybe bail him out, and waiting to hear back from the police station.
So we went back to the Airbnb, and that's when the raid happened.
And what was that like?
That was scary as, yeah, that was very scary. That was the first time I had guns pointed to my face.
Hey, they're probably going to be quick to film. They're probably going to be quick to pull their phones out, so just be aware of that. Go down, low. Basement access, west side.
I'm gonna go in the back.
We're all going to the back because that's the only access.
Okay, and there's no windows up here.
Correct. And there's a door on the inside that'll separate.
I'm gonna take perimeter, see if you've got the door.
Yeah, no, we're good. There's no way out.
Prior to this SWAT team or whatever it was entering the house, did they ever knock and announce their presence or give anyone the opportunity to open the door, or did they just bust in?
They just opened the door themselves and said, "This is a search warrant. Everybody come out." Yeah, nobody answered the door.
Okay, ready?
Everybody step out. Come outside. Search warrant. Stand up and come outside. Right now. Let's go. Step outside. Step outside, everybody. Come on. Everybody step outside.
No. Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay?
Okay.
Oh, can I drop it? Don't move quick. Everybody just chill.
Are we all going to prison today? Just curious. Are we all like?
We'll talk to you about that during recess.
Okay. Dang, that's the first time.
Okay. Is anybody else in the
Got
house?
anything on you?
I can't take off my bag now.
No, you're good. I'll get it. I didn't realize that you had a bag on. Yeah, don't move, okay? Do you have anything in your pockets?
No.
Don't dig for anything.
Was that completely unexpected?
Yeah, no one was expecting them to show up. I think Ben was calling the police department to see like if Sheldon had gotten booked and if like we could get him out. The cops just like entered. They said they had their guns drawn. They were like, everybody out. That was a scary experience.
Did they actually point guns at you?
Yeah. Yeah, they all had their guns out.
Did they say anything to you about why they were there or what was happening?
No, they said nothing. So like no one knew like why they were there.
Is it cool if you take my earbud out and
Yeah, I'll do it once you sit down.
Cool.
I'm just gonna put your glasses.
Sure.
I just don't want them to fall off and break.
Very kind of you.
It's gonna be the upstairs. Clear.
There's a lock here, but yeah.
A lock?
Yeah.
Empty closet? Okay, that's normal with the Airbnb.
Remember good old Officer Richardson? Well, he took out a search warrant, swearing under oath to a judge that he had probable cause to believe that there were stolen Legos inside Ben's Airbnb.
Just check around, make sure you don't see anything else.
Sorry, yours is
Then we'll get out of here.
Included in the warrant are Legos.
Okay, we're good for now, and I'll coordinate with the detectives.
We're clear.
Okay.
Cool. Need that at all? Good for right now?
I may.
Okay.
Stressful situations kind of makes my breathing like.
I get you. If you need it, I want you to tell me so I can get it for you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. We gone over him, Tonga? Tonga. We gone over him?
He searched me, but you can search me again. Yes, main target's in custody. So I don't know if we need anything else here at the Airbnb. I also don't know who Orem's looking for, but we're taking them all to the PD.
Did they ever claim to have an arrest warrant for you?
No, they just said search warrant. But for some reason, we're all getting put in handcuffs and all getting put in the back of cop cars taken to the police station.
Okay. Hey, Sean, separate the one in blue from the rest of them. His property's behind him.
with me?
Yeah. We'll just put him in a car first.
Are we all going?
No knock search warrant. I've never seen
It
that
wasn't no
before.
knock, your door was open.
Was it?
Yeah. So you just
So you can just go in?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't go in. We called you to us, right?
Oh, yeah.
Called you out, announced, and said, come out here.
I don't know how it works. So.
No knock, we'd hit the door off the hinges and come
Oh,
in.
really?
That'd be bad.
Yeah, and we don't want to do that, right?
There's a camera. Don't drop that.
We'd hit the door off the hinges.
You good? Yep. Okay.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, right?
Okay.
So,
He's got my cuffs too.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, no, I'm saying like every officer gets one.
Hey, I have my bag in there. Are you locking that up? Can I get my bag out at least?
So-
the question is are we coming back here? Or am I getting my stuff? Or are we leaving?
So right now, just so you're aware, I can't answer all that stuff.
Okay.
So
You can't even tell us if we're like going somewhere.
Well, right now the plan is to take you to the police department.
Oh, what?
So that's kind of where we're at. Okay. As far as like everything that's happening, I can't tell you that.
I'm gonna lock the door right there. I just pressed the lock key. So if you guys get released, then you can figure out to get your property with the owner of the Airbnb. Okay. But you saw we didn't come out with anything else. We're not planning on going back in. You guys are gonna go to the PD. We're gonna figure out what we're doing, and then some of you may end up going to jail. Some of you may end up getting released. We'll see what happens.
Do you have one in your car? Okay. Where's his stuff?
My stuff.
All this file?
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, just per policy, I gotta search you again before we put you in the car.
Okay.
In the
Right
car. Yeah. Are you wearing your stance there?
All right. So I'm gonna hold your arm just so you don't fall. Okay.
Sure.
That's locked, just so you know. Okay. Do you have a copy of the 29?
Richardson does.
For the homeowner?
Yeah.
Okay.
Going out?
Yeah. And then keep him separate from the rest of them.
Put them on the smaller ones.
Take him straight to detectives.
What's the plan once we get there?
So detectives want to interview him because he's primary for our case. But Orem said they're looking for a bunch of these guys. Prova's looking for a bunch, and Sandy's looking for a bunch. So they're looking at potentially criminal usury, F2 for most of them. And that guy with the little beard, he was the one that kept wanting to do the drone shot, and I kept telling him to get out of here. So.
Oh, the tough?
29.
Yeah, do you have an extra copy of the 29? I can give it to the homeowner. And then we still need to service whoever rented the Airbnb with a copy too.
Yeah. Or Ben, whatever.
Okay, so just print another one when you get down there and then serve one on him.
Cool.
Okay. Well done. Good catch. Thank you.
This is all his?
Yep.
Alright, brother, I got your phone and all the stuff up here.
The only one that needs to be separated is this one. What about this guy? Yeah, let's just do this. How many are there? 5? We have 2 in our car. So he's going to detectives. That leaves 4. We have 4 holding cells. Okay. On it. We're rolling. Hey. Come here. Do you remember we were doing Hydra with the guy with the deagle?
Huh?
Remember when we did Hydra with the guy with the Desert Eagle?
Yeah.
This is his Airbnb. He's in my truck right now.
really?
I'm not small.
Oh, yeah.
And I told people that. He was like, what the fuck? That's so funny. Detectives are going to have Orem come and look at these guys to see, because they have video surveillance of all their guys. So we'll keep them on ice until we can start stripping resources. But it sounds like the other shifts rolled in. They're starting to take calls.
They're starting to take calls, which is good.
Okay.
And we'll make sure everything's cleared up.
That was great. And the fact that they were coming out when we were walking up. The main kid had his phone recording, so I shut it off. But
the other kid had a GoPro. We're out of here.
Just gonna give him his copy of the warrant, tell him how it went. Or these douchebags probably have property. Oops. shouldn't have said that.
So they just arrested them. They were all transported handcuffed to the police station where they were placed in separate locked holding rooms. And then they were interrogated separately. None of them were informed of any charges against them. And this was all done in the absence of any arrest warrants authorizing those arrests.
I think we're just going in and getting checked. So, I mean, or like questioned.
Probably.
Interrogated, pretty much.
Well, I haven't said I haven't done anything.
Yeah.
They haven't told me You haven't been to the property since you've been told.
Mm-mm.
No. So.
I haven't even driven Ben anywhere either.
Yeah.
So.
I haven't even been in Ben's car. We've just only been with him at one point.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sitting in an awkward position. Ow.
You okay?
Yeah. Are you good?
Mentally or physically?
Both. Ow.
I'm no stress. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Are you hurting?
Yeah, I am. But
is it your cuffs?
No, it's not my cuffs. It's just the awkward. My collarbone.
Okay, there's a lot of radio traffic going on. Okay, what I want
Copy
you to do.
1082 times 5 at 1759.
Let me see what did you say that we're going to be transporting everybody? Yeah, transporting to PD.
Which police department are we going to?
American Fork.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to think about cleaning the fifth and stuff. With things like that.
No, I'm willing to comply. I haven't done anything.
Okay.
If I plead the fifth, that means I need a lawyer. I don't need a lawyer if I haven't done anything. So.
That's true.
Ah, there we go. Okay, come on out.
Okay.
We're going to go in this big metal door. Cool. Okay. Hit that door.
Freaking dope you can do this.
Okay, we're going to go into holding cells inside the next door. Okay. We're going to, Richardson, we're separating. So, one of these can go in this big room. To your left. Purple shirt, go. Cuffs, take him back. You pulling cuffs? Do you go with him? I'll close the door. I'm not gonna let you sit here in the dark. Face that way for me. Okay. I'm gonna unhook these. Don't move. Don't do any funny business. Okay, stay right there for me. Okay, one more maybe. Okay, have a seat. There is a toilet and water if you need it. Okay?
How long?
I'm not sure. We'll check in with you. So if you need something or just we'll work on it, okay? Silver cups?
I don't know, I'm just holding something out. I got one more 82 in mine.
Okay, let's do it. Alright, step forward.
We're gonna go this cell right here. So be able to stand in the doorway, take your cuffs off real quick. Okay, let's see where we at. Come on, stupid thing. Alright. You have a watch on?
I do have a watch on.
I need to take that from you. Do you have any other devices on you?
No.
Okay. Alright, hang up.
Are we getting questioned or?
Yeah, we're gonna have detectives come and talk with you.
Okay.
Kind of explain what kind of situation you're in.
Yeah.
Things escalated from last time I saw you, so.
Yeah, since the last time, I haven't been a driver, I haven't done anything. I hang out with him because I'm his editor.
That's
I've
good
been
for
filming.
you.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that's all I'll say right now. Last Sunday, things were cool.
Yeah, they were. And since then I got scared,
things are less
so I kind
cool.
of backed out of everything.
Yeah. Okay, just hang out for a minute, alright?
Okay, sounds good.
Do you have any other things in your pockets, like
No, I
cars,
don't.
watches?
They've already checked me.
Watches? Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Wonderful.
Are we being arrested?
I'll be honest, dude. I don't know a whole lot. I know that we served a warrant for something, and you're going to be spoken to by our detectives. So right now, you're just being detained. Okay.
Okay.
If they want to make that decision that you're under arrest, then they'll let you know.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. If I knew more, I would tell you.
Okay. No, I appreciate the transparency.
I always thought that if you showed the police respect, they will show respect back, you know? Like they'll mirror the respect I give to someone will be mirrored back to me, you know? Turns out it's not the case with the American Fork Police.
I guess now I get to see what it's like to be a criminal. Normally I'm on the other side where I watch people get in the cop car. I'm like, haha, I got you arrested. So I guess it's interesting to see what I put other people through now. Gives me more sympathy, maybe.
When you first encountered the American Fork Police, you were talkative with them, you were open with them, you were honest with them, and you could tell you sort of trusted them to do the right thing.
Yeah.
And they kind of surprised you in a bad way. Has this changed the way, like in the future, if you go to some other town somewhere else and you interact with the police department, has it caused you to do things differently moving forward?
I don't know. I might be more cautious, but I'm also not like upset with how I handled it because of how it's going, you know? So like if I wouldn't have filmed it, then I would be very upset with myself because the filming it and showing the unredacted footage is kind of what's saving me, I guess. But if I didn't have the footage, I feel like I would be in a lot of trouble right now and it would be very bad for me. But the footage is what's saving me, I guess. So I guess that's kind of the number one thing I learned is like sometimes I always feel like bad about filming things is like I don't want it to come off as like, oh, I'm just filming this for content, you know, is like, oh, Ben's just trying to get content with this. But like really, I think now I can be more confident with filming because I can think back. I'm like, well, filming this saved my life, you know. So I guess it's kind of a lesson to other people, like film your interactions with police, you know, because if they try and screw you, it's always just good to film everything, and that way you can just put it out and show what actually happened, you know.
Yeah, I was able to get my seatbelt. Should I get out?
You're good to hop out, man.
Okay. Stand right here?
I'm doing the right. We'll go on this door right here.
Yeah.
Hi, this is Officer Richardson with American Fork Police.
Hey, how are you?
Just following up with you. We got a decent amount of people in custody right now. I need to know everybody that's trespassed from your house. Do you know any names?
No, I don't know. I only know Ben's name. I don't know the other people from Adam.
Okay. All right. Just figured I'd try.
Okay, no, you're good. How many did you get? You got Ben?
We got 5 right now.
What, including Ben Schneider?
Yes.
Sweet, that's good. Okay. And the charges, stalking?
I have no info right now. I'm sorry. We're
Okay,
still
no
working
worries.
it, but all right. So you don't know any names?
No, I don't know these people at all.
Okay. All right. Appreciate it.
Just keep coming.
I got you. Okay. Thank you, Josh.
Thank you. Bye.
Sheldon, how you doing?
You alright?
Anything you need?
No.
Okay, just keep hanging in there. We're still working through some things.
Alright.
Okay?
Yep.
So they release you with your phone. About what time of day was that?
It would have been at least 8 or 9, if not later. Like I said, it was dark. I don't really remember because then I'm like, oh, I got out and I'm trying to call Ben and no one's answering. And I'm like, dude, what is going on?
Hi, are you Ben?
Yes.
Ben, I'm Detective Nikosha. I work here at the police department.
Okay.
I just want to make sure you're aware of your rights. Doesn't
Okay.
mean you're going to jail or anything, but just because we're in this setting and I may ask some questions that may come off as like interrogation or type stuff.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
So I just want to make sure you're aware of your rights and also that we're kind of covered and everything. Okay. So you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you. If you decide to answer questions now without an attorney present, you will still have the right to stop answering at any time until you talk to an attorney. Do you understand the rights that I have just read to you?
Yes.
Okay. Having these rights in mind, do you wish to speak with me?
I'm assuming if I say no, then I go to jail.
I mean, I can't. I have to ask you some questions. I'm just confused with.
Yeah, I want to share my side. Yeah, I think there's a lot of like lies going around. I can clear that stuff up. Yeah.
And if you don't want to answer a specific question, like I said, you can just say, "Hey, I don't want to answer that question." That sounds like a good deal.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so what's going on? Because it sounds like police have been in contact with you, or kind of your, I'm gonna say posse, but for the past 4 days, right?
Yeah, I guess I can just say everything if you want.
Whatever you want to share me, and whatever you think is.
I don't know how much you know already, but basically, I'm a journalist. Is kind of a weird word. I'm a YouTuber. And at first, I started just making slackline videos, and then over time, it's kind of gotten more into journalism, and I've kind of gained a niche of going in, like, people email me stories, and then I go in, basically it's usually corrupt organizations. I go in, and then I think the thing that separates me from other people is I don't just report on it, I actually take it to the next step and like shut them down. So someone hit me up, they said, hey, this company called Bricks and Minifigs stole my entire family's life savings from my dad. He spent his entire life collecting the world's biggest Star Wars Lego collection. It's worth $200,000. And he put it in this store so they could sell it for him, and they just kept the Legos and didn't pay him anything. And obviously it's for YouTube, so we're going to be a little goofy with it, but we had our legal right to put that sign there because it's in public property. And if anyone asked us to take it down, obviously we would take it down. But basically the joke was we're going to have, because obviously he's not going to want to be served, like if we knock at his door and say, hey, we're here to serve you papers, he's not going to answer. So it was like, oh, he's going to walk out to take out the sign, and hey, you've been served, we go home, that's it, we see him in court, and then all of a sudden the police come and they're like you're stalking him, and I'm like, explain to the police, I'm like, we're not stalking him, we're doing, like, I even told the cop, I'm like, I wish we could just send him an email, like, show up to court this day, that would be so easy for us, but this is how the law works. Like, that's not my fault. Like, I don't make the law. If I made the law, send him an email, or letter in the mail. I don't know. Like, that's how I would do it. But I'm not the one that writes the law. The government is. So I was like, we are just following what the law says.
We have a felony stalking case right now between somebody that he was hanging out with.
Okay.
It's between Provo, Orem, American Fork, and Sandy. All felonies.
Who are they stalking anyway?
A person in American Fork. I can't tell who the victim is. It's been a series of a lot of events. The kid you're with, Ben, he's arrested last night for this. Got out of jail, did the same shit today. Felonies. Everyone's facing felonies.
That's pretty serious shit.
It's super serious. We did not expect you to be there. So when we do these things, we have an ops plan. We have a rough idea who we think is going to be there. Pretty much everybody.
So this is a raid, Jack, is what they're doing.
This was a search warrant. Jack had guns pointed in his face. This was a search warrant.
Oh, really? They didn't point them at me, but they had them.
Like, that sign is a funny sign, and like we have the freedom of speech to say that, and it's true. It's not defamation. I mean, even if it is defamation, he has to get us in civil court. But it's not defamation. It is true. Like, that is what he did, and I have so much evidence to back it up in our documentary. And we have the freedom of speech for that person to put that up on their property, and and I thought we were doing a good thing by getting this family their money back, you know, and like we're like, because the police said, hey, do not serve them court papers, which means basically the police told me, do not take this man to court or else he will get arrested. And so I was like, just thinking, and we're like, let's do a GoFundMe, you know.
How did you get in touch with these other guys that you just met 3 days ago?
I think I put on an Instagram story maybe. I was just like,
Okay.
hey, if you're in Utah, you want to help take down a bad guy, hit me up.
Okay. All right.
From a storytelling perspective, I like to show, don't tell, if that makes sense. So I could tell the audience, or I could tell someone, this is wrong, but if you're a bad guy, obviously you're not going to listen. But what if you could show a bad guy that through like art that what you're doing is wrong, you know? So it was basically just a satire piece where we were like, hey, here's this, do you want this package? He's like, yeah. We're like, okay, sign here then. And so he signs, and then in it, it's like, we said in the contract, like, you have to do the chicken dance, you have to do like, it's just obviously a goofy satire contract.
Gotcha.
So it's just a piece of satire to show in the video, this is why it's wrong. And now his own methods happen back to him, but not in a real way, in a satire way.
Gotcha. Okay. Hang tight here, and then I'll be back with you, okay?
Okay.
Okay. And need anything? Water?
I don't think so.
Okay. If you do, just knock on the door here, and
Okay.
we're just right out here. And
Actually, is there a bathroom? Am I allowed to go to the bathroom, or is that?
Yeah, you can.
I can hold it if you'd rather me stay here.
I don't care either way. I can take you over to the bathroom or not.
I gotta have to pee.
I'm not going to make you sit here and...
I don't have to pee like that bad, but it's kind of good.
Well, I'm not going to make you sit here and fidget and spin and do whatever. I hate those faucets.
Oh no! You guys changing here too?
I don't, but some do.
Oh, nice. Is this you get like a police chase and you're all sweaty running around?
Yeah, we're back
This
right
way?
here.
This way? Okay.
No, you're good. Hey, Ben.
Hello.
Another few quick questions.
Another thing is, I used to tell everyone the plan before I did videos, like here's the plan, but now it's kind of like show up and I'll tell you the plan on camera, because then you get their reaction on camera, you know? It's like, here's the plan, guys, and then you get their reaction. And so most of these guys don't even know what they're doing. Like, if anyone's in trouble, it's me, you know? So, like, we're not here to harass him. Like, this is what the, like, if we could just email him, that would be much easier, you know? But
I agree. Yeah, that would be easier. So, okay. That's all the questions I have for now. So just hang tight again. Need anything? Doing okay?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Yeah, just knock on the door if you need anything, okay?
Okay.
How are you doing?
Huh?
What's your name?
Steven.
Steven? So my name's Detective Nikosha. I'm just kind of investigating this case. You want to come out here and we can come talk?
Sure.
What have you done for Ben?
I've only filmed with the camera.
Okay, so you're the cameraman.
But I've never been on the property. I've been in a car filming, and I've been on public sidewalk, and that's literally all I've done for him.
Okay.
I've only had one interaction with a police officer, and that was today. And he told me to walk away. I said okay, and I walked away.
Okay.
And then I went back to Ben's place where we were just meeting, and I sat there. So then the cop showed up.
Gotcha.
Yeah. I literally walked up and I asked, hey, I was here to meet up. And the police officer said, that's canceled. And I went, okay. And then I turned around and walked away.
Gotcha.
And that's what he told me to do.
Okay. Sounds good. If you want to step back in there, and then just give me a second. We're probably going to cut you loose here in a second, though, okay?
Okay.
Just give me 1 second, though, okay?
Yeah. How long do you think it will be?
I have no idea.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
You doing okay?
I just want to let my wife know where I'm at. That's about it.
Okay.
Just let her know if that's all.
Yeah, it shouldn't be too much longer, though, okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Hello, are you Sierra?
Yes.
Come on out here and then come sit down.
At some point, they take you out of the holding cell and interrogated you individually.
Mm-hmm.
And so the detective starts asking you questions. What sort of questions?
He was like, let's see. He was like, what's your part in all of this? So I told them everything, like, because they already knew everything. We weren't breaking the laws or anything. He's like, they asked me like whose idea was a GoFundMe, which that was sort of like a group project, but I think they were trying to get me to admit that it was like Ben's idea. So when we were talking to the cops yesterday, they told us to like find a different way to do this. So we asked like a neighbor if we could use their fence to post like a sign up there. We were gonna videotape the sign, stuff, put it on YouTube, trying to get like people to donate to the GoFundMe essentially.
Gotcha. Okay. And whose idea was all of today's activities?
It was kind of just a group project, I guess. Yeah, they put me in a cell with the door locked. I have asthma too. But like on the body cam footage when I was arrested, he was like looking through my purse and he's like, "Hey, are you gonna need this?" And he pulls out my inhaler. I'm like, "Yeah, I'll need it soon. This is stressful." He's like, "Okay, let us know if you need it." And then they like take me and put me in a cell for a few hours, so I don't even have access to that or to anyone to ask for that.
I'm gonna have you step back in there. We should be almost done here, and then we'll cut you loose here in a second. But just if you want to step back in there, I gotta talk.
Could I have my inhaler, perchance? It's in a green bag.
You know where the green bag is?
I didn't see them put it up back here. I was in there.
Yeah, if you want to step in there, and I will get your inhaler. Or do you need it like right this second? Or are you just...
I'm pretty stressed.
Okay, I can get that. Yeah, let me get it for you. And then I'll be back with you, okay? I do have to shut this for now, though, okay?
Okay.
Okay. Green bag. Let's see a green bag. Hey, green bag?
I love you.
Love you. Bye.
Sierra's green bag?
Yeah.
Where is it?
Does she need her inhaler?
She needs her inhaler.
Fuck.
Is it right here? It's right here. Joshua! It's right here. It's right here.
Should be right there.
Yeah, I got it.
Sorry, I didn't know you had it in here.
No,
This is her stuff.
she's good. Is this it? With the little bear on the back?
Yes.
Perfect. Yep. You can just keep it because we don't want you to have an issue.
Thank you so much.
Stupid door. Didn't forget about you.
It was about an hour and a half of me sitting in a holding cell before a detective came and talked to me. Basically asked, like, how do you know Ben? Tell me everything that he's been doing, basically, and really, like, push for me to try to, like, he tried to get me to, like, rat him out, I guess, for breaking a law, even though I don't believe there were any laws broken. So I just told the detective, I was like, everything we've done has been for a good cause. Yeah, I didn't really think we were breaking any laws, so I was willing to talk to the detective, but they still arrested Ben.
Did they ever tell you if you were being charged with something or why they had you in custody?
They didn't tell me anything about me. They just questioned me about Ben. So they didn't say, like, we think you broke any laws. They're like, how do you know Ben? Tell me everything about him. It was nothing to do with me. They had no crime connected to me at all. They're just trying to get me to snitch on Ben, basically.
And did you believe that you were free to leave at that point like during this interrogation?
It felt like I was trapped there for sure, yeah. But I knew I didn't break any laws. I knew I was going to get out of there with no charges.
Tyler is the most polite, probably kid I've ever seen in any body cam video ever. Like the most polite person who's detained of all time.
And the cops pulled me over. They said I looked like a druggie. And so they got me out of the car and made me do like a sobriety test. And I passed the sobriety test like easily because I've never done a drug in my entire life. Like Tylenol is like the most I've ever done. And then they were like, well, I could still see it in your eyes. So then they got a canine unit, and apparently the canine unit sniffed something out. And so then they searched my car, but then they didn't find anything, so they just let me go.
Okay.
And that was like a super scary experience. So I went home and I texted my mom. I'm like, I don't think I want to film this video anymore, but Ben still wants my help because I've like done filming and editing for him. So I've been going to his Airbnb and just transferring footage from cameras because I film with my cameras, just helping him transfer footage. But today, I wasn't out and about with him at all today because I don't want to be arrested. I don't want to do anything. I saw Ben got arrested yesterday. We ended up bailing him out. And I was like, I don't want any part of this. So I literally told my mom, because my mom was pretty worried. And I told my mom, I was like, the only thing I'm willing to do is go to his house and help him edit. I don't want to go out with him. So I haven't been going out with them for a while. I just got off work at 5 today, and then I came straight to the Airbnb to help edit and transfer footage. And that was pretty much it.
Gotcha. So you weren't with him. The last time you were with him was...
The last time I went out like to Josh's neighborhood was Monday night when I got pulled over.
That was the missionary.
The missionary incident. And since then, I literally called my mom right after that, and I was like...
But you just came over today to his Airbnb to help
around 5 o'clock, yeah.
To help transfer video and help
just edit and stuff like that.
Okay, gotcha.
But
I don't think I have any questions for you at this time.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me so far? Okay. Well, if you step back in here, I should be wrapped up here in a second.
Okay, cool.
And then, yeah, we'll probably cut you loose from there, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, it was super weird because he didn't even say that I committed a crime or anything. They just arrested me to basically snitch on somebody.
And then when you didn't, they said, okay, now you're free to go.
Yeah.
Did they ultimately ever charge you with anything?
I got out of there with 0 charges.
And still to this day, no criminal charges ever filed against you.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, can I have a souvenir for my first time in jail? Is that like a sticker? Do you have a sticker or something?
Just the memory and the PTSD.
And the PTSD, hell yeah.
Well, after they questioned me, they put me back in the cell. Well, they gave me my inhaler and put me back in the cell. And then, like, after a while, they were just like, okay, you're free to go.
Were you scared during this period of time?
Yeah, I was so stressed. I was really stressed.
So they eventually just tell you you're free to go, and at no point did they ever tell you that you were being arrested or charged with any specific crime?
Yeah, they never told me anything like that.
When they let you go, I mean, what happened next? Did they just turn you out on the street? Were you with the others, or were you by yourself?
Yeah, I was with the 2 other people I had gotten arrested with. I was there with Tyler and Steven. My phone was dead, so they gave me a ride back to the Airbnb where my car was, thankfully. But yeah, they were just like, you're free to go, and we were just like out on the street.
Sierra, come on out. You doing okay?
You have a sticker by chance?
Okay.
No police stickers?
We're good. You're good to go.
That is mine, thank you.
Yeah. We're going to walk you all out this way, and then...
Cool.
Get you guys on your way.
Get you on your way.
So you guys have like someone that can come grab you?
Yeah, my mom's house is like down the street. I can walk to her house. So.
Perfect. What about you? You live far away.
You want to walk? You want to walk with me?
Yeah, I can walk with them.
Cool.
Same with
you?
Sweet.
My car's in it.
Okay.
Cool. They should get my stuff from there.
Okay.
Sweet. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Okay.
Just be cautious of who you're dealing with, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes they can get you in trouble, and probably not the way you wanted to spend a Wednesday night, right?
No, sir.
Back.
Back.
What's happening with Ben?
Yeah.
We're still working through that.
Okay. Can I get like information to contact when he's booked or whatever?
We're still trying to figure everything out.
Yeah,
So
that one's gonna take a minute. So.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
No worries. Thank you.
Okay, you guys are good to go.
Okay.
Thanks for your cooperation and everything.
Hey guys, have a good night.
Take care.
You too.
All right. So I don't have any other questions for you.
Okay.
I appreciate your cooperation and everything.
Yeah.
Do you have any questions for me?
No.
Okay. I'm gonna cut you loose.
Thanks.
Okay.
Sick.
Do you want to just go through this and make sure we got everything? I got your meta glasses right there.
Yeah.
Okay. We're just gonna go out the same way you came.
Okay.
Again, I appreciate your cooperation and everything. It goes a long way, right?
Yeah.
'Cause
Sick. No problem.
it's easy to.
Thanks for hearing me out and stuff. Wow.
Yeah.
Sure.
Right.
How long have I been in here?
Couple hours.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, man. Take care. Hello. All right, Ben.
Hello.
Thanks for being cooperative and everything today. So our plan, kind of moving forward, is we're going to book you back into the jail, okay, for an additional stalking charge. So what that kind of looks like, you're booked in on a stalking for all the stuff that happened, whatever happened yesterday, right? I don't really know the full details of that, but you kind of explained it to me, but I don't know the details behind that. But we're looking at some different things that happened today, right? You had your little crew go back to the house today, post that picture thing in front of his house, and then also well, you're in the vicinity, right?
Yeah, but they didn't say I couldn't go back though. But they couldn't say I couldn't do that. Like I wasn't warned that.
Right, but we're still doing these patterns of showing up at people's houses, like near their house, posting these posters in front of their houses. It still kind of meets that element. And a lot of this stuff you may have to just get an attorney and fight it in the criminal side of court, right? But I'm just kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt and explaining to you of kind of where we're at, rather than it's just like, hey, you're under arrest for stalking, and then you have questions like, well, what's going on, right? So I'm kind of giving you the benefit of the doubt of explaining things to you, right? And then the other thing was the creation of the GoFundMe, right? We're blasting this person all over saying, hey, he's...
So creating the GoFundMe was illegal?
Well, in the concept of the stalking, right? You're blasting this guy that you were arrested for stalking yesterday, saying that he's all this stuff. It's again another element to the stalking, and then just the entire stuff that's leading up to this, like.
But is that stalking or is it? I guess you're right. I just have to fight in court, I guess.
Yep.
And then if I fight in court, am I able to get like? I don't know, like. I guess you wouldn't have that answer, never mind.
Probably not. No.
Okay, should I?
Yep.
Have my back?
Yeah. Go ahead and stand up. I got an officer right here that's gonna. He has cuffs for you. Again, I appreciate your cooperation and everything, and it does go a long way with the cooperation though and everything. Do you have any further questions for me about anything?
You want to tell me what time it is?
8 o'clock. 8:15.
Okay, I have a friend arriving at the airport that's supposed to pick up at 8:30. Do you happen to know when I'll be able to call him?
When you get down to jail.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for being listening and everything.
Yeah, and everything that you told me, and I've talked to everyone that was with you too, it's all going to be documented in my report.
Okay, thank you so much.
So it's not like, again, that everything that you told me is going to be documented.
Okay.
Okay?
I guess last question.
Yeah.
And it is that we'll also be able to hear Josh's side of the story because I think he's said a lot of lies to you guys.
It'll be, and I never talked to Josh, but it'll be documented in the report as well.
Okay, thank you so much. That's it. Thank you for the not super tight handcuffs this time.
No problem.
Alright. Yeah, yesterday the handcuffs were terrible. Oh really?
Well, they're not supposed to hurt super bad, but they're not the fuzzy playful kind, right?
Yeah, I was in like so much pain yesterday in the car ride, and then I didn't like want to complain because I was like, oh no.
And also, these cars aren't built to tell people.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I don't care about that. It was just the handcuffs sucked yesterday, but they're good today. But,
well, if they ever hurt, just let us know, because we don't want you to be super uncomfortable and cause pain or anything like that. We're not in the business to do that, right?
I can't see. Okay, I know that for next time now.
Yep, because we don't want to injure you or do anything like that, right?
Yeah.
Pardon my reach. I'm just gonna put the
No, it's all
seatbelt
good.
on.
Well, thank you guys.
Okay.
Thanks for being nice and
Yeah.
cool.
Thank you for being cooperative. Okay.
I try to be as open as possible.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing.
Yep. Okay. Take care. Good.
Yep. Thank you. Okay.
Copy.
Eventually, everyone except for Ben was released and told that they were free to leave. Ben was told that he was being charged with an additional charge of stalking and that he was being transported back to jail.
I do this a lot, and just hearing, but like, what's your favorite kind of music? I should ask.
Ooh. I don't know. I really like kind of like the Strokes. You know what that is?
The Strokes?
Yeah.
I haven't heard of them, but we're gonna.
Oh, you've definitely heard of some of them.
Oh, probably. We'll go to their radio.
Their new stuff kind of sucks. Their old stuff's good though.
Looked up some of your videos.
Oh, did you see the slacklining stuff?
I didn't see any of the slacklining stuff. I didn't have a whole lot of time.
No. What one did you watch?
I just watched the first like 5 to 10 minutes of the Candyman.
Oh yeah. With the one where I'm like, I'm gonna do the scariest haunted house in the world. That one.
The footage one.
Oh, the guy, he lost his hard drive. Yeah. So that's the 5th video in the episode, or the 5th episode of the video. Yeah. So I guess you can kind of see what I do. It's like I just take down bad guys and stuff. Like people like torture other people and stuff. And that's exactly what this guy's doing. It's literally the exact same thing. He's this bad guy and he's making up stories about us to get us arrested and stuff. But I think in the end it'll all work out and justice will be served. But yeah. Hello.
Welcome back.
Hello. I made a GoFundMe and they arrested me.
Oh, son of a bitch.
So they release you, they give you your phone back. What happens next?
I end up walking around, like finally Tyler gets let go too. He's got to go pick up Victor from the airport. So I end up just walking around homeless for like an hour and a half. And then Tyler finally comes and gets me.
Then what did you guys do?
We went and bonded Ben out. And then this is what ended up happening with bonding Ben out. I paid his bond, right? And it was $2,000. The second I paid it, they raised his bond to $2,500. So they said I couldn't get my $2,000 back for a whole 2 weeks. And it was my only money. So then we had to have all these, and we had to scramble around. I maxed out every one of my credit cards, cash advances. I maxed out every possible withdrawal limit on all 3 of our cards. And I literally got on my hands and knees and was like, yeah, because we'd been trying to withdraw money for like 4 hours. And my last credit card had $20 left, and that's what we were short. So then, because when they raised the bond after we paid it, it glitched out their system, and they were saying they would only accept cash. And they're like, or you can call this Utah Pay thing. And I was on hold for like 2.5 hours while we're doing all these cash advances and stuff. And then they finally answer, and then they hung up. I'm like, you are kidding me. You know what I mean? So we were for 4 or 5 hours trying to bond this guy out. It would suck so bad, but that's why we were all so excited when we got him out.
Let's go, man, baby. Yeah.
I will be in touch as well about this lawyer that I would like to set you guys up with.
Yeah, tell him I'll retain him instantly.
He's always in trials. When I was trying to get Ben to talk to him, this guy was in a trial, like waiting on a verdict, but he's definitely interested. Have you agreed yet to represent any of the people involved? Or are you still investigating?
We are actively discussing what legal action can be taken against the American Fork Police Department and what the timeline would look like for such litigation. I'm based in Detroit, but I litigate 1983 police cases pretty much all over the country. I've done 1983 police civil rights cases in about 24 states. So I think a little more than 24 states. It's something that I'm willing to litigate anywhere if somebody's rights are violated.
One of the wildest parts of this whole thing is that when the SWAT team entered the Airbnb, that they arrested or that they put all these kids in handcuffs and then took them down to the police station, put them in holding cells, and then individually interrogated them about Ben. All the while, none of them were being charged with anything or told they were being charged with anything or were actually charged with anything other than Ben. And so they're just telling them, well, you were just being detained.
I think this is one of those situations where the goal was a combination of intimidation and let's see what we can get out of them. maybe one of them would have turned on Ben. Maybe one of them would have said, yeah, I know we're harassing them. Ben told us to harass them. Maybe one of them would have confessed to something else. You know, last night we were at the house doing meth. It could be that they were just hoping for something like that, or that they could trick one of these kids into providing something which is materially false, or which could be claimed to be materially false, and then you get to charge them with obstruction. That's why talking to the police is never, ever, ever a good idea. If they've got enough, they're going to charge you. And if they don't, what's the point in talking? They don't want to get your side, as they claim. They want to see if they can get enough to charge you or charge somebody else. So unless you're the victim of a crime, don't talk. Just keep your mouth shut. Because what these kids were able to do, and it's by virtue of the fact that they were just completely honest and they were not engaged in any unlawful activity. But had they been involved in any unlawful activity, or had they been the slightest bit dishonest to these cops, bet your bottom dollar they would have been charged with some sort of crime. But after all these hours of interrogation and hours of detainment and hours of intimidation, they got nothing on them, except for these very weak charges against Ben.
Yeah, so it got progressively worse. Like the first day, they get pulled over for the alleged traffic stop sign violation. And then, you know, it's like they thought that would scare Ben away. And so that doesn't work. The next day, they pull him over again. And this time, they take it up several notches and hold them for an hour and 20 minutes, go through all the, you know, the drug dog sniff, the field sobriety test, etc. Finally let them go. And then when Reckless Ben still doesn't leave Utah, they take it, you know, they step it up again. And then the next interaction when they end up arresting him. And then they step it up again when they end up coming in with the SWAT team.
It's almost like, you know how in law enforcement they have the use of force continuum, where you start small and then you slowly get bigger and bigger. Maybe this is the use of intimidation continuum, where if at first you don't succeed, just pick it up a couple of notches. First you have the stop, then you have a stop with a search, then you have a detainment with a sniffing dog and an allegation of drug use. And then it ends up being a raid of a house, guns drawn, supposedly with a knock and announce warrant. But unfortunately, the body cam was rolling and they walk right in without knocking or announcing.
Okay, ready? Everybody step out. Come outside.
Search warrant.
Stand up and come outside. Right now. Let's go.
There's video footage of it. And they come around the house. And what I saw in the video footage that I saw is there's one officer in front with a pistol, and the one right behind him has a rifle. They kind of come around the back of the house. They see that there's a window open, and they don't want to be seen until they're in the house. That's pretty clear from the footage. So instead of knocking and announcing, what they do is they just open the door right up and tell everybody to get out. There is no knock. There is no announce. Well, there's an announce, but that's after they're already in the house. They open the door, they walk in, and they tell everybody to clear out. And then everybody clears out. And then, of course, there's the issue with the potential excessive force that's used on Ben, where the officer claims that Ben tensed his arm up.
No. Don't move like that. You understand me? Don't move like that.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Okay?
Oh, can I drop it?
Don't move quick. Everybody just chill.
Certain police officers create resistance. If they put their hands on you and push you hard, you're going to tense up. Well, now that you tensed up, they get to escalate the use of force. They get to climb that use of force continuum. So if they grabbed his arm, for example, and started twisting it, and to prevent his arm from snapping, he tensed up, well, now they can say he tensed his arm up, so now we get to use even more force. Who in their right mind, who's not doing anything wrong, is going to physically resist a police officer when you're surrounded by cops with guns drawn? In the affidavit to obtain a search warrant, the officer claims that he contacted the homeowner of the Airbnb to inquire about video footage. The homeowner was cooperative and provided video footage that displayed Benjamin walking into the basement apartment at approximately 15:58 hours on this day. And then here it comes. The homeowner also disclosed that he could hear multiple individuals inside the residence speaking about possible stolen Lego toys that they had taken. Now, that language there, that they had taken, is going to be very, very important, because Ben and his folks claim that they did not say this? Why would they say that they stole Lego that they didn't steal? It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. They searched the home. There was no stolen Lego there. And if you watch any of this video footage, you know that there was no stolen Lego there. They were trying to get back Lego that they perceived to be stolen. Because if the homeowner actually told the police that he heard the boys say that they had taken, and the boys really did not say that, they could sue the homeowner for slander, for malicious prosecution, for lying to the police. If the homeowner did not say that, and they were just talking about stolen Legos, which of course is what this whole case is about, then they could sue the police for lying in the affidavit for a search warrant. So this affidavit in and of itself creates a number of problems based on, again, what we know the actual facts were, based on what we know these guys did not say, and based on the fact that the search was conducted, guns drawn, by just entering the home without knocking first.
Yeah, so did the homeowner provide false information to the cops, or did the cops provide false information to the judge to get the warrant?
That's going to be the ultimate question. And based on the way the warrant is written, I think the best course of action here would probably be for the victims in this case, Ben and his friends, to, in addition to suing the police for a host of potential civil rights violations, to also sue this homeowner for providing materially false information intentionally to the police, which was known was going to be used by the police to most likely obtain a warrant to search the home, which of course is what happened.
Did you guys go back to Ben's Airbnb?
We did, and they kicked us out. So then we got back finally at like 4 a.m. It was super cold, and then there was a note on the door saying we were kicked out.
Really?
Yeah.
Kicked out from who? The Airbnb owner?
Yeah, the one who told the police we had stolen Legos. Yeah.
You had already booked it, and you were already staying there, or Ben was, and then you guys get there, and there's a note on the door from the owner saying you're kicked out?
Yeah. It said you can come back at a time you can schedule to get your stuff, but your SOL, because we had gone back to the Airbnb and stuff, and after the raid, and I kept saying like they're probably gonna kick us out. So in between there, yeah, it's like we did stop in there, and then they didn't like that, so they completely locked it down, like Fort Knox on us. So then it was like, just a note on the door, and then we had to go get a hotel.
What do you know about that? Because I'm an Airbnb host. My brother is an Airbnb host, and as Airbnb hosts, you don't really have any interaction with the people using your Airbnb outside of just communication through the app. Like, you're generally not seeing them or talking to them in person, or putting yourself in a position where you're overhearing what they're talking about. Do you know whether they had some sort of like surveillance at the setup? The owner was like surveilling his tenants or something?
I mean, for him to have reported us to the police, he would have had to have at least been eavesdropping and being nosy. Because it's like, also, we're filming a video, so we were probably being kind of loud and stuff. But still, we're not, we're YouTubers, dude. We're not like, we didn't steal the Legos, you know what I mean? So it's ridiculous. It's like, and it's kind of like if he did do that, and eavesdropped, and it's like the saying, when you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. Because it's like, if you felt like we stole, like, come talk to us. You know what I mean? Ben's the most approachable guy I've ever met in my entire life. He's just like a literal human golden retriever, dude. So it's like, I don't know. It's really interesting to, like, instead of just coming and talking to the most approachable human being that probably will ever exist in our species history, you just go tell the police on him and lie.
Do you know whether Ben had any interaction with that owner of that Airbnb?
No, we did after, and they were telling us why they kicked us out, and Ben was super nice about it. I told him, I'm like, yeah, dude, this dude isn't a criminal. This is like reckless Ben. He's like a hero and stuff. And then they didn't care at all.
It's going to be very interesting to see if this conversation, whether it was a conversation, emails, text messages, whatever it was, with the Airbnb owner, if there's some record of what was actually said from the Airbnb owner to the police. Because it will be very interesting to see what they would actually say in the course of, let's say, a deposition. He asked the homeowner, what exactly did you tell the police? Did you tell the police that you heard the boys talking about Lego toys that they had stolen? And then you ask the police also, are you certain that that's what was said? And how was it said to you? And see if they stick by this or change their stories.
With all the information they had, they ran with this other bit of information from this mysterious source and used that to like do the ultimate thing that they wanted to do, which was bust in this house and make this dramatic display. And another thing is, did they have any arrest warrants at this time? Because if all they had was a search warrant, as we know, the courts allow them to handcuff everybody that's in the home during the duration of the search. But it does not, to my knowledge, allow them to handcuff everybody just for a search warrant, go put them in a police car, and then take them to an interrogation room at some other location and hold them for hours and interrogate them.
As far as I know, they all waived their Miranda rights and spoke. And even with all of that, apparently there was nothing to charge any of them with except for these questionable charges against Ben himself. You know, what I find interesting about this case is that these guys did everything wrong from a legal advice standpoint. We've got somebody willingly giving over his phone. We've got somebody consenting to drug tests, to field sobriety tests, to waiving Miranda and making statements. These are things that any lawyer worth his or her salt would say, don't do it. And they did it all. They did all of these things. And all the police needed was one inconsistency or one confession, something that they could distort and use and then charge more of these people with some sort of, questionable criminal action. And apparently they got nothing.
These kids were 100% cooperative. They answered every question and they got nothing out of it. And it just made the police department look bad. Do you have any timeline on what you guys might be doing going forward?
We can only assume that the American Fork Police Department and or their insurance company, assuming they have one, most police departments do, is going to be a very deep-pocketed war chest for purposes of litigation. And to combat that in the courts, we're going to need a significant amount of resources and a lot of money. So they put up a GoFundMe. They're trying to raise $100,000 so that we can litigate this thing properly. Assuming that donations come in to that GoFundMe the way I hope they do, we could have this lawsuit filed probably within a couple of weeks. And that would really be my goal.
What sort of things can you do in litigation, assuming you have the funding to actually get the truth out of these people?
Well, there's two things that we're able to gain through litigation that we can't really gain otherwise. Number one is full and complete unredacted recordings, video, and everything else. Whether it's CAD traffic, radio traffic, body cam footage, lapel mic recordings, dash cam footage, and anything else that may exist. And of course, if these police officers are given police-issued phones, text messages and emails on those devices as well, assuming, of course, they haven't deleted them. So that's the first thing. The first thing is full and complete records of everything that took place. And the second thing, which I think is even more important, is cross-examination. Being able to sit down and depose these people. The chief released a well-written video, which is clearly talking points, and it's again, like I said, it's a very well-written statement. But being able to do that is completely different than being able to stand up under cross-examination and actually explain things. When you make a claim and then you show a video clip and then you move on to make another claim and don't show a video clip and then make another claim and show another video clip. Okay, that's great. That's a very well rehearsed statement. But then when you sit down under cross-examination, and whether it's me, you, or some other lawyer gets to sit down and say, well, wait a second, let's back up now. You said this. Let's watch the footage. Let's watch the full footage. Let's watch an additional 10 seconds of footage. How do you explain what you said? Why would you say something like that? What is this based on? And under cross-examination, that's when you can really tell if somebody's being honest or not. Anybody can just give you a pre-written statement. And I'm sure, and this is, again, the sad truth, a lot of police officers know that they're never going to be cross-examined because most cases in the criminal court end up getting resolved without them ever having to take the stand. When they are cross-examined in a criminal court, they very often are being protected by the judge and or by very weak lawyering, because very often the lawyers don't want to piss off the prosecutors or piss off the court, for lack of a better term. So the cross-examination is relatively easy, but it's very rare that a police officer actually sits down for a deposition and is forced to answer questions. Under the federal rules, we get 7 hours. So that's all the time that you need to sit down with one of these guys, be prepared, have the footage, have the statements, have the reports, sit down and cross-examine them. Tell me what happened and how it happened and why you said what you said. Great. Now let's look at the evidence and see if what you're saying is true.
What about suing the American Fork Police Department and the officers who, violated your civil rights? Have you considered doing that?
I'm super down. The only thing that kind of sucks is, like, it sucks how I could sue the police department, and it's like, is the police really going to learn their lesson? Because the money doesn't come out of the police budget; it comes out of the taxpayers' budget, which a lot of the taxpayers are pissed off. Like, they're on my side, so it's like, am I just hurting the taxpayers at this point? So then I think it'd be kind of funny just to like sue them and then win, and then do like all the money we win from it, like do something to help the community out. You know what I mean? Where it's like, okay, so we sued them, we taught the police department a lesson, and we won all these like taxpayers' monies, but then we're gonna give it back to the taxpayers. Like we do something awesome to like help the community. I don't know. That's like my current plan, I guess. I think would be awesome. I haven't really thought about it too much yet. I'd love to hear your opinion also of what you think would be the best thing for like suing them too. And
I talked to Tyler a couple times. I talked to Sheldon. I talked to Sierra. Last I talked with everybody, they were going to be represented by Solomon and file a civil lawsuit or civil lawsuits, against the police department there. So it's being done already. In my opinion, you might as well be involved in that. And yeah, that if you win, I guess you can do, you guys can do whatever you want. And at the same time, it's going to cost a lot of money to fund that litigation. And I know that Sheldon and I think Tyler had set up a GoFundMe to pay for litigation expenses because, Solomon and lawyers like him, they will represent clients on a contingency fee, so they won't charge them anything unless they actually win the case. And then they take a percentage out of whatever they obtain. But it's going to take a lot of investment. Like the Solomon will have to front the money up front to, take all the depositions for all of the fees that will be incurred like up front. And so there's already a GoFundMe set up for that. What you can't do in a criminal case, you can do in a civil case. So if you guys file a civil lawsuit, you can subpoena, for instance, Josh Johnson or Ammon or any of the officers involved, put them under oath in a video deposition and question them for hours on end about all this stuff.
oh, okay, I'm down. Yeah, I'll just do it for that then. That sounds sick. And then I can come up with the questions and stuff.
Right. So yeah,
nice.
if you guys file a civil lawsuit, you will be able to go through the civil discovery process, and it's much more extensive than the criminal case. So you can have all these depositions and put everybody under oath, and they either have to answer the questions or plead the fifth. And it all gets transcribed. You can videotape it.
What if they just choose to remain silent on everything? That's kind of boring.
They can't do it. Just like a judge is telling you what you can and can't do already in your civil case before you even got heard. It's the same way in a lawsuit against the American Fork Police Department and officers. They are going to have to follow the rules of the court. And the rules are that both parties get the opportunity to engage in discovery. So to take depositions and to serve discovery requests, interrogatories, which are basically written questions that have to be answered under oath, requests for production of documents. Now, there are exceptions in the rules of civil procedure to where, sometimes you don't have to turn over everything, but there's rules on what you do and what you don't. It's really a fantastic way to sort out the truth. Depending on how much money you have to spend on it, you can leave no stone unturned. That's why it would be really cool if people really would fund this GoFundMe or any other GoFundMe for litigation expenses and just put everybody under oath.
But what if they lie under oath? Because they're probably going to just lie,
That's the best part if they do that. If somebody
really?
lies,
Because I don't think they know how to tell the truth is like the thing. Like, I really don't think they can admit. I think they would go to jail for 100 years before they tell the truth.
That's why you need a lawyer who knows how to deal with that. You know, so who is already expecting them to lie or to try to lie and knows how to paint them into a corner. And that's what you want to do. Like, you want them to lie. All right, please do. Please lie. And then you paint them into that corner, and then you've got them. And because it's hard to lie, you know, then you get to compare that with other times that they've already been under oath, with police reports, with search warrant affidavits that are submitted under oath, and then all these things are done under the penalty of perjury.
Dang, this is gonna be fun.
And what Solomon told me when I interviewed him about your situation, you know, at the end of the day, like you said, with lawsuits, yeah, taxpayers end up footing the bill. It only achieves so much, but what real accountability is criminal prosecution of the people involved, or of the, that's real accountability. So if they're willing to lie under oath, that is something that can be prosecuted.
I already took Josh to mediation. He was lying the entire time. And it sucks that I couldn't screen record it and like post it because it'd be so fun. But he lied and I don't think he's under oath in mediation technically, but that's probably the same arguments he's going to use in court. So it's like, I already know that their plan is just to lie in court.
We have video of what we believe is these police officers actually committing crimes and violating rights. You're going to get at least maybe 7 hours with each of these officers in a videotaped, perhaps, deposition under oath, and you're going to be able to ask them whatever you want and about what their alleged justification was for each of these incidents, about their communications, etc. And all of that is going to be under oath and transcribed, and they may admit to committing crimes. They may commit perjury, and that could lead to then subsequent prosecutions taking place just based on the work that you do in the civil case. And also, because they may be afraid of that, they may end up pleading the fifth in depositions. And, you know, any police officer that does that, I think that's very telling, because you can't have somebody with a badge and a gun out in the community placed with that sort of a trust if they're not even trustworthy enough to testify under oath without pleading the fifth.
If somebody points a gun at somebody else and doesn't have a legal basis to do it, that's a crime. Everybody knows that's a crime. If a police officer does it, it's also a crime, if there's no lawful basis to do it. Putting somebody in handcuffs. If I come over to you and put you in handcuffs, that's a crime. Usually it's a felony in most states. If a police officer does it, it's also a felony if there's no lawful basis to do it. So it really, I think the real way to stop this kind of thing from happening is not from lawsuits. And look, lawsuits is the only way that we the people have of fighting against police corruption. So that's why it's something that I do, and I take it very seriously, and I know you do as well. And God bless you for doing it. It's really important to do. It's the only way we have of holding law enforcement accountable. The real way to make this nonsense stop is not with lawsuits and not with disciplinary action. It's to start charging these cops with crimes. Putting somebody in handcuffs, holding a gun at somebody, detaining somebody, that is a crime. Filling out a false affidavit, if that were to happen, is a crime. It's perjury. In fact, most affidavits, I think all affidavits, say right on them that it's being filled out under the penalty of perjury. If these officers, when they are intentionally, blatantly violating somebody's rights, got criminally charged, I'll bet you this nonsense would stop immediately. But as long as it's lawsuits and as long as it's police departments and big budgets and insurance companies and taxpayers that end up footing the bill, the dirty cops don't care. The good ones we don't have to worry about. But the dirty cops don't care because there's nothing that happens to them 99% of the time.
Your situation illustrates that even if they are filming you with body cams, what if they mute them? And here, I think the overriding theme of your interactions with the American Fork Police Department was how they were constantly muting the audio on their body cams.
Especially when they told us that we could have the audio, because I'm like reaching my pocket to go film, and they're like, hey, don't reach here, we'll arrest you if you start filming. And I'm like, well, how am I gonna get this audio? Then they're like, we're recording audio right now, and then meanwhile it's just all silent. It's like, no, they were just lying to me. It's so stupid.
I encourage you to talk again to Solomon, and maybe you can jump into that lawsuit as well.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
I mean, you definitely will find out things that you're not going to find out any other way.
The real way to effectuate change, sadly, is not through lawsuits. If I had the power to criminally charge people, I would have a completely different practice, because I would do that a lot. But we don't get to do that. We, the people, don't have that power. The only power that the legislature has given to we, the people, is to sue them. And even then, very rarely, thanks to the outrageous un-American doctrine of qualified immunity, the quintessential example of legislating from the bench. The government's way of protecting its money from we, the people.
Well, thank you for getting involved in this. Hopefully we're able to help raise some money here to fund this litigation, because this is, I really want to know the actual truth. I know a lot of other people do as well. And there's only so much that we're going to find out until people start getting put under oath and judges start issuing orders requiring disclosure of things that they're hiding.
The bottom line here is this litigation is going to be incredibly expensive. Deposition costs, video costs, there's going to be expert fees, lots of expert fees. There's going to be quite a bit of travel, not only for me, but for the plaintiffs in this potential case as well, getting to and from Utah. And if we want to litigate this correctly, and we want to litigate this properly, and hold these police officers accountable, we're going to need that GoFundMe to fill up.
I think it will.
I hope so. I really hope so.
All right. Well, we will hopefully talk again once things get going. When you first heard about this, did you foresee like how big that this would get?
No, it's been kind of crazy. I always think my stuff's going to blow up and it never does. So I don't know. But at the same time, I don't do stuff because it's going to I always think the stuff I do is like the craziest stuff in the whole world. And I'm always like, I'm not like disappointed when it doesn't blow up, because I'm never like doing it to blow up. I just do this stuff because it's fun for me, Like if I want to do stuff because it was going to blow up, I would obviously do a different genre of videos. But I just do this because it's like fun for me. And then if it blows up, that's like a nice side effect. I don't really care. Like whether it blows up or whether it doesn't blow up, I'm still going to have the same amount of fun, making the videos. So it is cool, because now for the first time I have resources that I've never had before. So it's like I can probably take things further and I can push things further now, but I think that's like the only benefit of it blowing. Like I don't really care about like views and subscribers and stuff. Like it doesn't really affect me. I think the best part is that now I can just push it even further, and I can just do even crazier stuff. I don't really look at the numbers too much. I kind of just focus on the edit. I just want the story to be that's where I want to put my focus, is on like how can I tell the best story ever. You
really are a fantastic storyteller.
Oh, thanks. That's where I put all my focus, is just on like the storytelling and doing fun stuff and helping people out.
At the end of the day, the courts judge Fourth Amendment violations based on whether the actions of police officers are reasonable in light of the totality of the circumstances. While what you've seen here might have been a reasonable way to undertake a murder investigation, was this reasonable under these circumstances? A misdemeanor investigation involving a bunch of YouTube kids trying to help a family who lost their Lego collection. Okay, in a murder investigation, you're dealing with people who are potentially armed and dangerous, and involving an extremely high likelihood of somebody attempting to flee and evade prosecution because they're looking at life in prison. It could be reasonable to bring in all of the potential suspects and hold them for some period of time in order to question them and sort out the facts, because it's a life and death situation. But with Reckless Ben and his friends, where you have to engage in some serious legal gymnastics in order to even argue that some random misdemeanors may have been committed, where you already know for a fact that nobody involved is armed or dangerous in any way because you've already been detaining and harassing them for several days. Was it reasonable? Let me know in the comment what you think. Was this reasonable? They had no arrest warrants for any of these individuals. They had no probable cause to believe that anyone other than Ben committed any crime whatsoever. And in fact, Ben was the target of their investigation, and what they really did was attempt to scare and intimidate Ben's friends, just as they had tried unsuccessfully to do to Ben in the first couple of days. Not only did that not work, but their doing so was unjustified under the Fourth Amendment case law. They had no probable cause to arrest them or detain them for hours on end. Just because they were potential witnesses in their investigation of Ben, that does not suspend their constitutional rights. Clearly, these cops completely disregarded every constitutional right that they encountered, so there has to be consequences. Unless some prosecutor is willing to prosecute them, which would be awesome, the best that we can do right now is file civil rights lawsuits. Solomon Radner has agreed to file those lawsuits, but he's going to need your help. A GoFundMe has been established to help fund the legal fees for this litigation, and I will link that below. Here's why you should donate. Solomon is going to be able to subpoena each and every one of those officers under oath, and then it will be their turn to now be interrogated for hours on end. And if you want to see that happen and watch the footage hopefully one day of that happening, donate now because it will be awesome. So while this is the last video in my 5-part series about what happened with Reckless Ben and his friends, I have a feeling that I'm going to be doing more videos in the future. And you can follow along by subscribing both here and at the blog at thecivilrightslawyer.com. You can follow me on X and the other socials at JohnBryanESQ. Remember, our rights don't end where your fear begins. Freedom is scary. Deal with it.